Hi. Hi there, Rocky. You're looking for the steak and eggs, aren't you, you fucking cheese hound? What's up, Sean? I gotta go let my dog outside real quick. This guy's gonna take a piss. I know you just want part of my steak. I'm not a fucking fool, Rocky. I know why you showed up. Shawnee boy, I will roll up a Dubai when I get back. I got some nice homegrown Death Bubba here. Here, let me. Dude, this shit smells like lemon, like a lemony skunk ass. See if I can't get a good picture of some bud here. A good old homegrown. That fucking shit smells super good, dude. I'm stoked. I can't wait. All right, I gotta go take this little rat outside. Little rat. Little ratsky. Come here. Sit. Speak. 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 Lay down. High five. Take a paw. Other paw. Circle. Speak. Take it nice. Let's go outside. Let's go. Oh, perfect timing. All right, I gotta grind up. Mm. Oh, just give me a sec there, shiny boy. There we go. It's no waste of time. I thought I'd give me a lamp. Forgot. Damn, Howie. That's crazy, bud. Yo, cheers, thug. Rocky just came upstairs to mooch a piece of steak off me and then fucked off downstairs. W time to join, indeed. Cheers, gentlemen. Oh, this shit's good, dude. Wait a second, what? Oh, there we are. I was gonna say. Damn, that is some good weed. Fuck yeah. Can't wait for Saturday, boys. It's gonna be a fucking good night. Oh, can't come fast enough, boys. Can't wait for Thursday. Yeah, buddy. You going to see your girl? I hope everything works out for you, bud. Hope you have a good time. Cheers to both of us. Cheers, Thuggy. Cheers. Hope you have a good time, buddy. Stay safe out there. Just the three of us. Just the three of us. How did you just hit? That doesn't even make sense. I literally had the protection player out. I think I might just start ranging these fucking goobers, but I don't really have that high of a range level. Nor do I have a lot of range stuff, so. Shit. This joint's hitting. A little bite of some steak, a little fucking toke of some marijuana, you know? Food and weed go hand in hand. Weed in this hand, food in this hand. You know what I think, Thug Dug? I think there was some fat boy action. But, oh, I'm gonna watch this Mario video first. I apologize. Got me captivated. This fucking guy is so good at Mario, and like, I don't know, just watching people play Mario just reminds me of my bro.
On 30 lives, Light Kaizo, the Goombrat Jamboree. Wow, what a festive name. I love starting my day with a little Light Kaizo.
Yo, me too. That's why it's fun to watch good people play. I'm horrendous at it.
Maybe back up a little bit, get some speed. Maybe miss it again. Wow. Wow. Ooh, that was close. Wow. Yeah, boy. Damn. That's what's up. All right, nice level, nice level. Good warm up. Moving on to stage 2 with 31 Adventure Legend. What the
fuck is going on?
Whoa, this is weird. Huh. I'd never seen that before.
They were just getting crazy
So
RNG at the
cool,
beginning.
man.
They're barely hitting me now.
That's so cool. I never seen that ever in my life. Whoa. Man, what a cool level. It's so freaking neat. Are you serious? He took so long. It was a damn blue pipe. Damn it, I hate this level. Alright, slow blue pipe. Slow blue pipe. So slow.
This weed's insane.
So slow. I almost died right there. That was crazy. Woo. Ay, ay, ay. Wait. Oh, yeah. Yeah, dude. There's the check. The point. Yo, let me check that point. Yeah.
Let me check that point. Damn.
This is great. What a level. So cool. So creative. Dang. Oh! Seriously. This is great.
Can't tell whether he's being sarcastic or not.
Oh. Whoa. What? Come on. Careful. There we go. Got it, got it, got it. How do I get that coin? Go this way. Okay. Got it, got it, got it. Now what?
Well, what the fuck? That's that's crazy.
Dude. Whoa. Am I good? Am I supposed to... Wait, where am I supposed to go? I'm going left? I thought I was going up there. Fear the 6 minute and 21 second world record. When he said adventure, he wasn't kidding.
This is some hot garbage.
Cue Final Fantasy V main theme. And cut. Okay, what happened to me last time? It got super confusing. You go left? Do I go now? Or do I wait? Maybe you wait. Ah. Yes, 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 yes. No! Okay. Such a cool level, but like...
We might be able to get Barrows gloves tonight, boys.
Really hard.
Not even kidding.
It's really hard.
Just depends how fast I can get these pages.
Dude! Doesn't help that it's like... Like, you're getting deep into this, like, slow-ass auto-scroll. And then all of a sudden, it's, like... crazy. It's like,
Oh no, I
dude,
paused the camera? Damn.
all
I'm
right,
sitting
this
here
time
doing
I'm
all
gonna
these
wait
fucking smoke tricks and shit.
pretty much as long as possible before going. The timing I'm going at doesn't seem to be working, so let me wait. Don't go yet. One more, go. Do you have to go right away? Crap, I'm screwed now. What the? Bottom one didn't go. I'm feeling a lot of conflicting emotions right now. Right, it's a timing issue. Maybe you just have to go so fast. So I'm gonna go right away. So go. It respawns quickly, so maybe if you time it, you can jump in place. And he'll come back and you won't fall down. I don't know. Go, go, jump in place. Nope, doesn't work. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. All right, hold, not now. Wait.
When you smoke, you gotta have the etiquette, you know? Pinky out.
No, one more. One more. Go, 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 go. You jump to that one, and then you're guaranteed to miss it, and you fall back down, and then you do the jumps again. All right, new strategy. So wait. Here it comes, and go, back down.
It's phenomenal. I just got some mud runes because now I don't have to make them. I can just go do one quest.
And that was it. Second time, if you go quickly, I think you can make it up to those clouds. The end is in sight. Well, not the end, but the end of that section.
You need to get up at 5? Damn. Yeah, thank God I get to sleep into like noon now. Noon, 1 o'clock without feeling like a complete douchebag.
We got this. We know what to do. Go. Go. Back down. Back up. And there we go. Jumping up there. And then you got to go down to get that coin. Yup. There it is. And in the pipe.
Bro, that beeping sound's annoying as shit.
Yes, dude. What? Where was the other coin? I missed a coin? No. Bros. Where was the coin? I'm going back. Where was the coin? Man. I want that true ending. Wow. Yeah, buffer the 1-up, baby. Easy. Damn, my world record was way worse. And it was all because of that one part.
And it's not really a world record then,
Guaranteed,
is it?
man. I gotta like it for the creativity, but that one section was so confusing. I kind of want to go back and get the true ending, try to find all those coins.
What do you gotta get up for 5? Or
18.
what do you gotta like work?
The Final Castle by Peter Griffin? Holy moly, man.
You got some work skis?
Oh my god, look at this beautiful
Yeah,
castle.
fuck,
right
that
here.
sucks.
Hey, look at that. That's nice. Hey, yeah, Peter Griffin, my man.
That sucks.
With the hidden 1-ups.
Should make sure a long
Go,
day.
baby.
Yeah.
Let's.
There's one thing I'm thankful
Hey,
for about
We might work our way up to Bowser, not immediately get roasted by him, but you know, whatever.
I get to you know, sleep until like noon and then like basically stay up to the same time I would anyway. I don't gotta wake up super early.
Need him to blow a hole through the wall.
This kind of sucks at the same time because
What you need to do, buddy? Could you stop? Could you come back to the main level?
you just miss everything during the day.
What? All right, shoot some fireballs. Yeah, dude. My man Bowser with the fire. Whoa. Oh no, he's gonna be chasing me.
Bro, this steak and eggs is phenomenal. Probably the best
You
I've
know
ever
what?
made.
This is interesting, right? It's like a good level with Bowser. Oh. You almost never see that. Dude! How did I survive? That makes no sense. Oh. Oh my god. Oh my god. I don't know how I survived that either. Or that. Or that. Or really any of this. Oh.
What kind of RNG is this guy getting right now?
This is insane.
Waking up, yeah, rooster. He's a rooster. I got the rooster and the duck in my chat.
Ah.
Can I hit this guy,
Hey.
please? That'd be sick.
Yeah.
Bro.
Bowser, come here.
The
Bowser,
schedule
come here.
changes every now and then. Yeah,
What?
but mine's pretty basic now. My schedule is pretty planned out during the week
Spawn the
nowadays.
star.
Wake up around like 1 o'clock, noonish.
Dude, Bowser,
Go take the dog out to the park, talk to my brother or something like that. Excuse me. And then
yes.
come home, go to work from 3 to 11.
That was a high stress situation.
Boom, boom, boom. You're only doing it for the summer, not gonna lie? Yeah, fair enough.
Oh.
Gotta make that dollar bills, yo.
Wow. So many times I should have died. So many times. Moving on to stage 4 with
Money talks.
20. Spicy.
Money does talk.
Kind of weird. But okay.
Especially when you got
What? Spicy, spiky castle.
you got shit you gotta
Hard
fucking
theme.
pay for, you know?
Hard theme?
Not fun.
Didn't know hard was a theme, but okay.
Not fun.
Freak.
I don't know why that was funny as fuck. Freak. Ugh. Boss up here. Yo, dude, that's so shitty to hear, Sean. I'm sorry that happened, bro. That's not good.
First try, get that garbage out of here. And dying to the muncher doesn't count. At first I was reading
That
the
sucks,
choices,
dude.
like you can do it, but then I started ignoring
sorry to
it
hear
because
that.
It was obviously a distraction, and then he starts throwing in the stupid sound effects. God. Ugh. Moving on to stage 5 with 19.
How much water did you guys get?
Handy jobby. Okay. All right. Cool. Handy jobby. Sounds great. Sounds really good. Yeah. Okay. Who doesn't love a good handy jobby?
Moving Valley, so we go the runoff from
Who
it,
doesn't
the
love
foothills,
riding
and
a
spin around
slow-ass
30 to 35 feet.
platform?
What the fuck? That's insane, bro. You got some
Well, it's
pictures?
kind of relaxing.
Send that shit in Discord, bro. I gotta see that.
You know, that last one was stressful. And the one before that was stressful. And the one before that was stressful. It's like... My life is stressful. I play Mario Maker for a living.
You and the kids alright, though?
A lot of stress, you know? A lot of stress. Oh, come on, you wiggler ass. Okay, is anybody gonna save me? Okay, cool. Oh, I'm screwed. Oh, there's wigglers everywhere. Handy jobby. Oh, the goal's right there. Another first try win? Too easy. Stage 6 with 22. 7-2 with car by car edition.
Damn, bro. You're lucky,
Goal
man.
on a car. I don't want
Good,
to play
man.
a car level. Get this crap out of here. It's a water level on a car. Why?
As greedy as it sounds, I'm glad you alright, though, you know?
What was that? How can we make the car even worse than it already is? Oh, I know. Let's go underwater. Yeah, that sounds great. Doesn't that sound great? Doesn't that sound just incredible? Oh my god, it's like a Mario
Wish I brought the
dream.
fucking Dragon Dagger.
To be able, what a privilege. What a privilege to be able to jump into that gap and lose my car, which I needed to beat the stage. What an absolute privilege. It was so great how it didn't line up. Yeah, a little bit of stress. A little bit of stress. This is awful. Oh, sweet lord, man. Why am I... What is this? This is horrible. Oh, I killed him. Wow, that was lucky.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Die.
That's awesome to hear.
Okay, so the gap here is problematic, right? Oh, we can't make that jump. It's too high. It's like the slowest level known to man. Is he gonna make it? Oh, he made it! What a G! What a G! Look at him go!
That's fucking
Holy
excellent, bro. I love when communities come together and shit like that.
Oh. You know what? Maybe we don't need
Brings a
Mario
little bit of
Maker
faith
3.
I have
You know,
that
maybe we're
is
good.
missing in my life back
we're good here.
to humankind, you know?
Maybe we're good. Maybe we've seen enough. Once the Koopa Troopa car went underwater, I think maybe we've seen enough. Oh, come on, get up there, you... Oh, shoot, the cheap cheap. Oh, wait, am I good? Oh, I made it. Oh, no. That was the stupidest way to lose the car. Are you serious? Holy moly, look at me go. I am really cooking here. Really cooking, you guys. Like, this is so good. Oh my god, this is so good. He can jump far. You know, it's actually kind of crazy how far he can jump. Okay. Whoa, you see this? This is crazy. Alright. Ready, go! Kill him! Oh, he missed. Whatever. Okay, furthest I've been, you guys. Furthest I've been. So wait, if you're in the Koopa car, do you kill the blooper no matter what? Because I hit that one from... He was above me. I thought he was going to kill me, but... I got the kill, which was surprising. I have a lot of Koopa car experience, which is nice, but... I don't know if it's going to be enough, you know, because Like, that's just bull crap right there.
Potato
Like,
cactus.
I think you need to jump off of an enemy to get through that part. That's the
I don't
only
even know
part
what the
so
fuck that
far.
is.
Unless you come at it really fast. Maybe you can do it if you come at it with a lot of speed. Let me just scout out the rest. This all looks pretty easy, right? And then the end is right here. One hard jump. After that, it's all easy. Yeah. Dude.
Yo, brother, trust me. I'm gonna be watching it. I just want to see how this
Okay, we
guy's
can do this.
run here
We got
goes.
this, man. What an
We
absolute
gonna be watching
treat
him.
to play a level like this. What a privilege, you know? I'm truly blessed.
I just ate a piece of
Blessed,
food
my
instead of just
friends.
dropping a butterfly jar.
What an honor this is.
I'm disgusted with myself.
What an absolute masterpiece. So it looks like... you really need that momentum, though. Ooh, look at that. That was crazy. That was great. Wow, that was really good. Wow. Ow, ow. Shit. Whoa. I'm pretty sure if he lands right on my head, I'm gonna die, right? Crap, we're going up. I mean, that's fine, I guess. Hold on, if I gun it and jump, can I clear that gap? That's the question. Okay, hold on. Come on, get up there. Okay, here we go. So here's the plan. Look. Go, jump, and too much speed. Coming down to luck at this point. Dude, go! You freaking jackass.
Rip.
Yeah, man. Oh, yeah. No, I mean to jump. You just got to get a little bit of momentum, and you can get a big jump, man. What the fudge, bro? Oh, I don't know how that worked out. Wow, look at me go. Oh, I would have made that. Dude. Woo! Dude, yes! Yes, bro, yes! Look at this. I'm flying. None of this matters unless I make that hard jump, though. Everything else is moot. So, I gotta get that hard jump. So, to set that up... Hold on. Go. Nope. Okay. The problem is, like... The problem is that this fish... Okay, well, here we go. Just drive off. No! You need to drive off. You either need to get a big jump. You'll clear the gap if you get a big momentum jump, or if you can drive off and land on that green fish, you'll also make it. But
I think
like,
you're
any
supposed to
tiny
land on the green
deviation
fish.
of the plan or the timing will result in your imminent demise. Oh, I got swarmed. What the? Dude, what am I doing up here? What is happening? Okay, see, that one kind of fucked me up.
Jump now. Oh my.
No!
What are you doing, buddy? I could have made that.
I'm a little torn, actually. I feel like maybe I should go for the jump and not for the fish. The fish timing is difficult. I think I'm gonna go for the jump. I don't know 100% if you can make it, but I think you can. I'm pretty sure you can, man. You just gotta get like, land right on the ledge. See, like, right here. I think this'll work, man. So just, like, dodge him, and then just go. Go. Jump. Yes. You've got to be kidding me. He just, like, when he doesn't have momentum, there's nothing you can do. You're just stuck. You're stuck, man. He goes so slow. It's crazy. Like this, see this? But you just need that little bit of speed, and then you get hella momentum. What? We're gonna game over on this. Most likely. Wait, just, oh, go.
You fucked up.
I did not make it at all.
How does he not just jump on the fish?
Malfunctioning. What? He was going up and then he came straight back down and stuck his crotch on my face. I'm on my last life, you guys. And this level has sucked the will to live right out of my body. The bloopers latched themselves onto me and just sucked out my soul. There's nothing left. Nothing left, man. I don't know how I didn't die right there. He was above me. Like, somehow I survived. I have no idea how that works. Dude, get off of me. Get off. Okay, sure. How am I alive again? No idea. Come on. Ooh, perfect spot, I think. I'm right on the edge. I think I'll get enough momentum. Nope. Oh, I'm a little worried, but here we go. Okay, I landed on the fish by mistake. Go! Go!
Oh, he fucked up, dude. What is this guy doing?
You can't.
My old pal and the newly minted millennial Jon Stewart.
God.
The Crypto King has court hearing in NYC kidnapping case. So, a 37-year-old man, known by some as the Crypto King of Kentucky, is on the docket for a court hearing in NYC Wednesday regarding charges he and a business partner kidnapped and tortured an Italian man, holding him captive inside a posh townhouse in Nolita for weeks in a bid to get his Bitcoin password.
So if you just get a guy's Bitcoin password, I guess there's no way you just get the money. That's the thing about Bitcoin. It's like gold.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you can't
You know,
fucking.
it's like a pirate's
But
booty.
they say it's like if it's in your wallet, it's your Bitcoin.
No matter
Like, there's
what.
really no way to trace it.
Man, they are definitely doing
For
fucked up
weeks, you
shit.
didn't give up the
with Bitcoin.
password.
Yeah, it was salute to this guy. He did not give up the
They
password.
tied him to a chair and then they cooked pasta wrong for him for a week.
They're snapping spaghetti. Yeah.
13
They're
minutes
serving
is too
Opening
much.
ragu.
Yeah. They're serving him fucking store-bought Alfredo sauce. He's like, no. Yeah. They're making him eat Olive Garden breadsticks.
Damn, bro. What
The
the?
victim, an Italian citizen, was another business partner of Waltz and William Duplessis, the other guy who was charged, who surrendered a day ago to face charges in the case. After arriving in NYC,
That's crazy.
the two guys took the victim's passport and electronic devices, then demanded he give them his Bitcoin password. They say the torture started when the 28-year-old refused to comply.
Not crazy about the way that defendant looks.
Yeah, I mean, look
Yeah,
at
let me
him.
see him.
That's a tough
Yeah, I
one.
mean, that's a guy. That's a guy. Yeah,
That's a tough one for the community.
That's
JP was
crazy.
fucking golfing with that guy last weekend. He was.
Booty chin all the way
He
up.
does, yeah. He was bound by his wrist, pistol whipped, had a gun held to his head, a chainsaw used on his leg, and was urinated on. Okay, one of those things does not really match. They fucking pissed on him.
You gotta put the chainsaw last, brother. The urination is not the key
Also,
here, bro.
that's now we're like, were these guys kind of like, did they get off on like pissing on someone is that is a quasi-sexual act in this scenario.
They kissed him on the forehead.
Yeah.
His captors also dangled him over a staircase and threatened to kill his family, among other coercive measures.
It must have felt cool to dangle someone over a staircase, be like, "Give us the password." You know what I mean? Like that must feel like like you're in a movie. You know? Yeah. Yeah. Were they wearing Batman
The
costumes when they're
fall
doing
won't
it?
kill me from this height.
Yeah.
I'm counting on it.
Yeah.
It only backfires on you because you're not going to drop him because you need the password. So eventually
Right.
it's just your arm's getting tired and you're like,
Yeah.
fuck. And you got to
Yeah,
pull him
I guess
back
he
up.
must have just thought they. I mean, this guy, salute to him for not saying shit.
Yeah.
They used a chainsaw on his leg. What does that mean? How deep?
Yeah,
on
dude, that's like a whole that's a
like
whole
they fucking-
town
Probably
like just
not.
gone.
Holy
It couldn't
shit.
penetrate the outer layer of hair on the
Yeah.
Italian skin.
There's
It
video.
was
I'll pull.
leg was too greasy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll pull the video up. But he.
That's
he
crazy,
gave
bro.
in
I'm praying for you
and,
guys.
he was like able to escape when they went to get his computer after he told them he'd like give them.
Oh, so he told
password.
them he was like, "Fine, I'll do it."
Yeah, but he was like getting tortured for 17 days.
How? Okay, again, how dumb do you feel? You finally got the password, and then you just don't make sure he escapes. You're about to
They're
do
like,
it.
ooh.
Yeah.
They're like,
Nice.
giddy.
All right, man. Well, look, there's a Roku in there. Just throw him whatever you want. We're gonna go grab your shit.
They
Where
calling
in
the
the
homies. They like,
money?
bro,
Yeah.
you finally gave it up, bro.
But he ran out the building covered in cuts and bruises, and he found like a policeman on the fucking street, like in the middle of the day. This is video of it.
Look how little that guy wants to do his job. It's like, come on, man. I'm a fucking meter maid.
He doesn't look that bad
He
either.
looks
He's
fine, bro.
he's looking fine.
Yeah.
Where's the
Gave
chainsaw
him some
marks?
basketball shorts.
Yeah.
And here's the one dude. The
They're
one dude
searching
getting.
him. Of course, the victim goes to the cops and patting him down.
No, that's
No,
the guy who
that's-
got arrested.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're patting him down. I don't know why the fuck he's in the bathrobe, but
Yeah, was he nude the whole time?
were
He
they
was
like torturing him in their fucking houseware?
Okay. So who? So John Waltz is the guy who got tortured? No, this is the.
No, that's the
Kentucky
guy who
King.
kidnapped. He's a big cryptocurrency bro from Kentucky, worth around 100 million. They say the victim is worth 30 million. He was renting the place in Alita for $30,000 a month.
Damn, a $30,000 a month spot.
Yeah, the luxury 6-story pad. This part is awesome. The luxury 6-story pad had an elevator and was described by sources as a high-end frat house with bottles of liquor strewn about and stripper poles in the basement.
Oh,
Respect.
man.
Neighbors said they could hear loud partying all hours of the night, but they had no idea that torture was going on within the walls. Sources told News 4 that Waltz and Duplessis, the two criminals, roughed up the victim in the past, but not to the same
In
extent.
the past.
Hey, no, this is a cover-up story.
They
bro.
used
They
to
doing
fuck
some
him up a
freaky
little
shit,
bit.
bro.
Yeah.
He would get picked on by the other two, but their treatment of him was never nearly as violent. Sources described the relationship among the three as complex with a Wolf of Wall Street, frat guys gone wild element to it.
This is nuts.
So these guys are like former.
So they were
acquaintances.
basically just they were trying to bully him out of $30 million. Is what it sounds like. Because it's like the guy has money apparently.
Yeah.
You have $100 million. You're just trying to steal from the guy, and it's like,
Yeah.
what do you think is gonna happen? He's not gonna. Did they think they had him so cucked that he wasn't gonna snitch? I don't
Probably.
know.
Maybe.
When you I don't know. You're just used to bullying.
That's
someone,
why
you
I
got
do
that
it.
Power. Yeah.
That's how McDade got me on this. He's like, bitch, if you don't fucking come, bro, let us piss on you.
He was pissing on that tone.
Podcast booking is serious business.
Dude.
Wait, I didn't know they knew each other before.
Yeah, that's
that
weird.
changes a lot of this shit.
Well, they.
Yeah.
I think they lured him here. They knew each other, like come to New York, and then they tied him up to steal his Bitcoin. But it's like,
Also, if you have $100 million from Bitcoin, you clearly don't want to work for a living. Like, you're in a fake business. Just quit. Just retire. Like, why are you strangling people for another $30 million?
this will be a good. Well, because also, how fucking yipped up do you think these guys are?
Oh,
Yeah.
big time.
I mean, this whole thing is like, this is kind of an old school cocaine idea. You know, where it's like, you knew the guy. You probably weren't going to kill him, right? Like, you don't have what it takes to actually go through with this. You don't even really need the money.
Yeah.
You're just like, yeah, man,
Yeah.
maybe we should get
I
like
think-
$10 million.
I think that little Ginzo is going to squeal.
Yeah.
Back to the radiator.
They talking like henchmen. Yeah, boss, I think we can get it.
Yeah, boss, I think we can get it. Oh, that's funny. Oh. That was fucking funny. That's an old school classic cocaine idea. Like, yeah, boss, let's go get it. that's fucking gold. Watermelon seed. I know the watermelon seeds are coveted. So, boys, do you think we're heading for World War III? We all know what happens in World War III. Yeah, nothing good. Yeah. Nothing fucking good. There were no such thing as nukes. Yeah. Yep. I've always said humans will be their own downfall, you know? Yeah, it's how the cookie crumbles. That's right. What are we gonna do about it?
911.
Hey, my girlfriend just got shot.
She got shot? Where are you at?
Bergway Trail.
Bergway Trail?
Yes. Hurry up, please.
Okay, who shot her, sir?
I don't know. I heard the gunshot.
This was a 911 call from a frantic man claiming he had found his girlfriend shot at his doorstep.
It sounds like someone biting an apple. Yep, yeah. Good observation.
Oh, God, and I heard pop, 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 pop. I just told you I heard her say, oh, God, and I heard gunshots. I'm like, damn. Oh, my goodness, man.
No, that's a good observation.
Like a tragic crime of passion was just the tip of the iceberg.
You ever watched Death Note before?
Was yet to unfold. Behind twisted
No?
lies
Damn.
and buried secrets.
The Shinigami, it's like a god of death in
But the
Japan.
truth still had to be
It
unearthed.
eats apples. And that's the sound.
After receiving the chilling 911 call on January 13th, 2017, Warren, Michigan police rushed to the condominium where Jim Terrell Lackner reported his girlfriend, July Johnson, had been
You should, if you like anime, you should check out Death Note. It's one of the best ever.
Far darker than it
No
first
joke.
appeared. July Johnson, a 34-year-old single mother, was found in a pool of blood lying in front of her car outside Jim's residence. Cops noticed multiple gunshot wounds to her torso and a single wound on her head. She was shot 7 times in total and was barely clinging to life. Her boyfriend Jim was at the scene and was immediately taken in for questioning. Detectives scanned the scene and found
If it's
several
good,
shell casings on the ground.
you should give Death Note a gander. One of the best, bro. I'm telling you, my favorite. I'm not even a huge anime guy, but that's like my favorite anime.
Boyfriend Jim had a curious criminal record and had previously served time in federal prison for narcotics. His criminal record and troubled past immediately positioned him as the primary suspect. The detectives approached Jim with heavy hearts and informed him that July had passed away.
I heard her say, oh God, and I heard pop, 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 pop. What was she doing outside? She getting ready to go to work. You didn't hear anything, any yelling or arguing? I just told you I heard her say, oh God, and I heard gunshots. I'm like, damn. Oh my goodness, man. Oh, God.
Okay, I'm Detective Rushton, okay?
Okay.
Tell me what happened this morning.
You've had a little bit of time to think about it. You never left your girlfriend's side. You didn't chase after him. You didn't try to get a car description, nothing like that. Okay.
What hospital y'all took her to, man? Closest one. And listen, she a single mother.
Obviously, we've done your history. Do you have anyone in that trade that was mad at you, that would have come back?
Man, I don't got nobody. That's out of the question. Hey, is she alive? What they say?
There is no easy way to tell you this. Unfortunately, she didn't make it.
Swear to God.
I would make that stuff up there.
She was breathing, huh? She was breathing.
The doctors did everything they could. They couldn't save her. She's gone. We lost her.
No. I'm gonna go talk to my mom.
Oh, yeah.
Jim said July was getting ready for work when he suddenly heard her scream, followed by gunshots. When he rushed to the door, he spotted someone in a hooded sweatshirt running away. July was still alive then, giving him hope, but her death hit him hard. Still, detectives stayed sharp, keeping Jim firmly in their sights as the prime suspect.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know if I believe him.
Crime scene to catch every
He's a little too casual about the whole situation.
Searched the house. They uncovered some odd details. 7 cell phones were found. Strange, since only Jim and July lived there. Even more surprising was the large amount of cash scattered everywhere. Cardboard boxes, envelopes, drawers, and a hockey bag packed full. It took hours to transport and count.
Dog, that motherfucker
And
loaded.
the total turned out to be over $522,000. Though Jim owned a car wash business, which might explain some cash flow, the source of such a large amount remained unclear, pushing detectives to dig deeper. As the investigation team followed each lead carefully, they decided to search the area where Jim said the suspect had run towards. What they discovered just beyond the front yard would cast serious doubts on Jim's entire story. In the bushes, they found a pair of work gloves and a $20 bill. What caught their attention even more was when the detective dog picked up a scent, suggesting the suspect might have rushed back toward the house. This raised the detective's suspicion that Terrell might have staged the scene, firing the shot, then rushing away to create the illusion that someone else had fled. Neighbors reported seeing a hooded figure running, and the description matched Jim, who was wearing a hoodie that day. The possibility that Jim was the person running only deepened the investigation.
Got him.
Jim cooperated fully with investigators and showed no resistance, agreeing to be questioned the next day. While Jim hired his attorney, detectives spoke to July's relatives. Most spoke well of their relationship, except one, Julius Fry, who suspected
You gotta really
Jim
like
might be involved in the shooting.
a month to name your kid after it.
And you see your wife or your lady get in that car and you see somebody run up or whatever, what's your first reaction gonna do?
Tell you, you're gonna run right after him.
Period.
As Jim arrived for questioning, detectives wasted no time and interrogated him immediately for the truth.
I want to run through just a little bit of
Why does he look like a mean version of Ice Cube?
what we talked about yesterday.
So they had a hoodie on, a dark blue, a dark black hoodie, and dark blue and black pants. They probably was about no more than 5'9", I want to say 5'7", and they was a small frame.
During the interview, detectives discovered something unusual in Jim's white truck. Meanwhile, Jim requested to have his sister present, which seemed harmless at first, but as time passed, the situation began to take an unsettling turn.
Listen, you give him 5 more minutes. The commissioner came in, he's got to give him a briefing. 5 minutes. Can my sister come in here? Sit with you? Yeah.
As the two talked, detectives uncovered hidden compartments in Jim's truck, along with hollow spaces and missing screws where an airbag should have been, raising serious red flags about what might have been concealed inside. But Jim seemed a step ahead. He had already warned his sister about what the detectives might find, and told her to hide anything else that could get them in deeper trouble before it was too late.
If that's the case, they knock me out. Make sure that you got beans on the garage.
The detectives uncovered a 9mm pistol with obliterated serial numbers, along with more than $6,000 in cash, giving out clear signs that something far more sinister was unfolding beneath the surface. To the detective's surprise, it turned out to be the same caliber weapon that had killed July Johnson. Jim Terrell was immediately arrested for the felony possession of a firearm.
You get charged with felon possession of firearm and CCW. This is what's happening. Are you serious? Serious.
Though Jim had an attorney on retainer and was released almost immediately, he remained the prime suspect as the evidence continued to mount against him. As the case grew more intense with each passing moment, detectives remained determined to get justice for July and her family. They began combing through the multiple phones recovered from Jim's condominium to keep the momentum going. What they uncovered left everyone stunned. The phones contained photos, videos, and lengthy text conversations that shed light on a tangled web of relationships. One name stood out repeatedly: Marcy Griffin. Marcy, Jim's ex-partner and the mother of his 2 children, quickly became a person of interest. Among the data, the furious text exchanges between Jim and Marcy drew the most attention. Her messages were filled with anger and resentment toward July Johnson, raising serious suspicions and pointing investigators toward a new potential suspect.
What up,
The
big
Barrows of
hat?
July,
Sean.
who detectives had interviewed
Watching
earlier,
some murder
also
fucking
voiced their own concerns
documentaries, you
about
know?
Marcy Griffin.
The main thing that I want to talk to you about today is this Marcy chick. So, she's been stalking July for over 2 years now. She developed, from what I hear from people,
Trying to get some of these fucking pages so I can get a 10 fucking K XP lamp. Get a couple area levels.
July and Jim took a trip to Vegas, where they were believed to have made their relationship official.
I don't follow him on social media, but I guess Real put up a status saying that, making reference to them getting married.
Okay.
I doubt if that's true, but that was the reference.
Spare boss for it?
From what I
Yeah.
heard,
Yeah.
Marcy went up to the car wash.
I'm just killing these fucking goobers for some herbs and shit.
They got into it, and she said something to the
If I was really a sweat, I would go get some chins and then go kill the temple spiders with the chins. I'm just kind of lazy. I need the defense levels anyway for Barrows. So,
Their statements
kind of getting 2 birds stoned at once here, Rick.
Jealousy, further reinforcing the suspicion that Marcy may have had a motive. Given the new lead shared by those close to Jim that he and July may have secretly gotten married, investigators felt increasingly confident that Marcy's involvement in the case was no longer just a theory, but a strong lead worth pursuing. Then, on January 14th, 2017, just 1 day after July's murder, detectives began checking nearby businesses to see if any surveillance cameras had captured something useful during the time of the homicide. One of those locations was a large commercial gym, the LA Fitness Center, located closest to the path the suspect had reportedly taken. Investigators managed to obtain security footage from the gym. Although the footage wasn't crystal clear, investigators spotted an SUV pulling into a parking spot near the trail at 6:45 a.m. Shortly after, a man wearing a dark hoodie with a medium build matching both Jim's and a witness's description was seen stepping out of the SUV from the passenger side before the shooting. About 30 minutes later, the same man was seen on camera running back toward the SUV with a slight limp toward the right side. He got into the passenger side, and moments later the vehicle sped away. With this footage in hand, detectives no longer believed the killer had acted
But
alone.
chat,
The
cheers.
man seen exiting and re-entering the SUV wasn't the driver, meaning
Bro,
at
you wanna
least
know how
two
stupid I am? I
individuals
didn't
were
bring a
involved.
teleport.
While the video didn't capture everything, it revealed two crucial details.
Get outta
First,
here.
the attack was coordinated, and second, it pointed toward a specific route the unseen suspect might have taken. When officers followed this route, they didn't just uncover tire tracks or footprints. What police found along that path changed everything.
We found a firearm, which was a 9mm handgun.
Michigan State Police Crime Lab was able to determine that this was our murder weapon.
This discovery also confirmed something critical. The weapon found on the path was the actual murder weapon. The gun Jim had earlier was officially ruled out. Technically, that cleared his weapon from the evidence list, but Jim himself was far from off the hook. His behavior, the strange things inside his home, none of it sat right with the detectives. One thing was certain now, this wasn't a random act of violence. July hadn't been targeted by a stranger. She knew her killer. Detectives knew their next move had to count, and the footage was their only card left to play. They began showing it to everyone who had crossed paths with July, family, friends, colleagues, and even acquaintances. As the clips made their rounds, one name began to surface: Dominic Edgerson. Suspicion around Dominic had grown, especially since he was linked to Marcy Griffin, and he also walked with a noticeable limp, just like the man caught on the CCTV footage. Then, 7 days later, on January 20th, 2017, Dominic was called in for interrogation.
You know of the Griffins.
Yeah.
And you know of Marcy Griffin.
Yes.
What's the last time you had any contact with Marcy Griffin?
I can't recall. Actually, I can't recall.
Give me a ballpark. Is it 1 day ago?
No, I haven't seen her in years.
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 Okay, so you're saying you've had no
Do
contact?
they have In-N-Out? Negative.
Yes.
I think they may have like one in Kitchener,
Although
but I've
Dominic
never
denied
been.
ever speaking to Marcy, detectives weren't convinced. What mattered now was his timeline of what he was doing when July was murdered. He claimed he was with his girlfriend, Charlene Smith.
We went back to her house.
Where did you stay the night?
Yes, I stayed there that night.
You went to bed around 12, 1 o'clock?
Yes.
I'm gonna switch gears here. I'm gonna tell you what we're really looking into. We're part of the Major Crimes Unit, Violent Crimes Task Force.
Yeah.
And there's a more serious issue here, and we're looking into a homicide. Okay. Through our investigation, talking to some people, they're pointing a finger at you.
That's incorrect.
Let's get into this burger spot then, or just Toronto.
And that's why I'm concerned with this timeline difference.
What the fuck just happened?
Detectives raised concerns
My screen
about
just went
timeline
black. That was
discrepancies because while Dominic was being interviewed, his
best
girlfriend, Charlene
burger
Smith, was in a
spot?
separate
I don't know. I just make my own, dude.
conflicting
Like,
accounts of his whereabouts.
Do you remember the night of the 12th?
I make a better burger than most places. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I just make it the way I want it. I'm not big like. I don't really dine out too much.
I went upstairs and
I make like, bro.
about 11.
However, her account would change after cops revealed a crucial
Hang on here a
detail
second.
they hadn't told her earlier.
I'm gonna be honest with you at this point. We're not here doing interviews concerning being.
Hang on here a sec.
We're doing a homicide investigation.
Oh my god, who died? I was trying to lie for him for his probation, but I can tell you for a fact.
I'd be like smoking my own meats and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
For that, so that's what we want.
Season them bitches up.
Yeah, I was just trying to lie.
I smoke my own bacon. Cook, like, you know what I mean? Smoke my own bacon.
Sometimes, you know, with his daughter.
I told you I'm not.
Render my own tallow and stuff for frying stuff.
After the interview, detectives collected a DNA swab from Dominic for further analysis. But just as the process wrapped up, they received a call from his probation officers informing them that Dominic had violated the terms of his probation. That's when he was officially taken into custody, not for the murder, but for the violation. Still, this gave detectives something they desperately needed: time. With Dominic behind bars, they began closely monitoring his jail calls.
Hello?
Yo,
What's your question about that damn homicide?
the good old Tommy. Yeah.
I don't understand what's going on. They not doing something right. are wasting their time asking you about a while the real murder probably somewhere in California now. Who told them to come to my house? That's the fuck I need to find out.
In the recorded calls, Dominic sounded genuinely shocked to hear that he was a homicide suspect. But whether that shock was real or just an act, knowing the police were listening, remained a lingering question. At that point, the only piece of evidence that could definitely place him at the scene was the DNA swab. Then came the results from the Michigan State Crime Lab. Despite everything that made Dominic look suspicious, his DNA was not a match. With no solid leads left, detectives continued their forensic analysis, digging through the phones of everyone who had been brought in during the investigation. That's when they stumbled upon something unexpected, a video that would change everything.
I located a video file that depicted Marcy Griffin and Latner having an argument at Mr. Latner's car wash.
I don't know what real did down here. Listen, who cares? What's the secret? I'm not. Hey, if I got a video, hey, y'all. You scary? You scary? You scary? Y'all remember this conversation? I promise you on my day.
Other spot with the altar? What do you mean? Where?
Marcy was yelling at someone, and it wasn't just anyone.
Over here?
It was Jim, her ex-boyfriend. The reason was strange. Marcy had just
Because I didn't know it existed, brother.
July Johnson. That same week, Marcy was called in for questioning, and her responses would either bring clarity or raise even more questions.
Just real quick, so I know we're talking to the right person. You are Marcy Griffin?
I am.
Okay, Marcy, do you have any idea why we're here to talk to you today?
I do, but I have an attorney. Because every time something happens...
Stay forever, yeah. Just go get me some fucking food real quick. Stop using these moths. Like,
You're talking about Terrell?
Jim.
Jim Terrell.
She remained calm and appeared well prepared as the
a
detectives
down
spoke
cloak.
with her lawyers through a phone conference.
Oh, it's just... Never mind.
I'm not going to let her say anything anyway. She's a suspect. Right now, she's a material witness. I mean, if she's going to be a suspect, I suppose that would depend on her involvement, if there is any.
This shit's glitched and it's just following me. Peculiar.
At this point, detectives couldn't do much, but deep down, they knew she was connected somehow. After the interview, police seized her phone, and what they found inside only deepened the suspicion.
When we looked at Marcy's phone, we discovered her phone had been erased on January 13th, the day of the shooting.
Sheesh,
Despite
what's up?
the phone being erased,
How
we
you
can
doing,
still
homie?
see who she's communicating
That's weird,
with.
bro. I was thinking about you at work today, Pac. I was like, I wonder what the fuck that man's up to.
Among the data, one phone number stood out. Someone who had been in constant contact with Marcy on the day of the homicide. In fact, the
That's
last
fucked.
message she received on the night of January 12th and the first one the following morning came from the same number. That discovery was enough to push detectives to obtain a search warrant for the phones linked to that number.
Probably a quarter mile of where the homicide had taken place. We also noticed that that phone was turned off just prior to the
Oh,
homicide.
it's just been working, man.
And turned back on just after the homicide.
3D weather plugin. I mean, I generally try and...
But detectives discovered it was registered under a shell company name. The real concern, though, was that the phone
generally try and keep it under, like, not, the graphics not too high, the game just runs flawless, you know?
Slipping through their fingers.
Better
Until
FPS.
Suddenly, it wasn't. In the early hours
Like, I just recently downloaded the HD plugin because I see my buddy playing Barrows with the fog on and it just looks sick.
The phone that had vanished without a trace had just turned back on.
The detective established surveillance on the residence where the phone was pinging, and then they observed.
So I just updated my graphics like slightly. I still prefer like here. I prefer these graphics the most.
The SUV they had been following turned into a parking lot, and officers moved in quickly,
Yeah, I'll
rushed
show you.
behind it, and sprang into action. As soon as they spotted the man, officers brought him into the patrol
Sucker
car
from
for
nostalgia?
further questioning.
Word.
Inside the SUV, they had
Oops. This is like my preferred art style. Just basic. She's pretty basic, a little polished. Did you appeal your mute? Yeah, I'm permanently muted, bro. Forever. Gonzo. Cooked. So what I'm gonna do is get this account to level 1500 total. And damn, sorry I did that. So, yeah, it's the way the cookie crumbles. I'm gonna get this account to level 1500, and then what I'll do is I will go to the GE and I'll bank stand at the GE with my main and this account, and I'll type with this account. And what I'll do is I'll get all the pets and shit on my main. Bro, is this world gonna be botted every fucking time? I bet you it will be. Whoa, look at that. Lucky me. Where's the altar? Broken Sun altar? Over there? Gotcha. And then I'll just work on this. I'll just play this account, and then just like whenever I'm bored and I want a boss, I'll just go play on the other account. Oh, okay, okay. Okay, yeah, I guess you don't want to pray at the broken one. Yep, yep. Duh. We might as well throw that prayer on it too. If we got prayer, bruh. This kind of aids though, because now I'm not gonna be able to pick everything up. I see the damn too soon, too soon. Damn, that one cut deep. Yeah. Yeah, but Ranner. Give me that. Give me that. A Ranner. Give me these amazing defense levels. 7 off of being able to high elk this atrocious rune set. Give me. And Raj Roth. Yeah, exactly, bro. Exactly. Facts. Yes, sir. No, this little cocksucker started hitting me. You for real, my guy? Spam that shit super fast. Ooh, look at that little baby dragon. Dude, histogram plugin. What's it do? Guitar here. Weird. A wild blood seed. Is that even worth it? I've never even heard of that before. I don't think it's worth it. Yeah, I haven't been able to unlock soups yet for this account. Oh, look at it. This is the douchebag from earlier I was killing. Let's get him. Lot runes. Eh, we'll take him. Some teleports, you know? Yeah. I would prefer just the one that has like it's like in the left corner of the screen or whatever, and it just counts the ticks in game up to 5. Yo, Sean, you have a good night, brother. You stay out of trouble. Oh, you fucking dog. Fine, yo. Those that's all too relatable. You fucking demon for calling that out right there. Yo, Sean, I appreciate the tip, my guy. Let's get it. 1K lottery. Cheers. The people of Ohio. Cheers. Cheers. Oh, what the fuck? I don't have my thing on. I ran out. I didn't realize. Shit. Well, you know what? I'll be right back, gentlemen. Uno momento.
identified him as George Ryder, an established businessman in Detroit. He had 2 cell phones on him, both of which were seized. Then, officers found a third phone tucked away inside the vehicle.
Have you ever been arrested before?
Yeah.
For what?
I've been involved in drugs. I've been involved with armed robbery when I was a kid. I'm fit up to 40 years ago.
Do you know a girl named Marcy?
No.
You don't know Marcy Griffin?
No.
I know that one of the phones you had on you is called Marcy Griffin hundreds of times. So, I know you know her. Now, again, as I explained, this is a homicide investigation, okay?
Do I know her? I mean, I don't know about her now. No, I don't know.
We both know that's not the truth.
Well, I don't know Marcy about that now.
You know that girl?
Even after seeing her image, he denied ever knowing Marcy Griffin, but the data on their phones told a very different story. In fact, he had saved her in his contacts as Pretty Woman. Further digging revealed they were just at the beginning of a romantic relationship. Marcy and George were taken into custody on February 23, 2017. On just the second day of Marcy's custody, she confided in her friends, claiming she was being targeted and insisting on her innocence.
Okay, there she goes. Hey! Why you don't see her? Can you see her? Kalani looking bad. Y'all straight, just chill out.
He said you and him the prime suspect.
Hold on. He a prime suspect lie. He been lying on me. That's why I'm in here. Listen, all they got is here. All because of he and his friends keep calling and telling them people stuff. Everybody chill out. Everybody quit talking, and everything gonna be all right.
However, that was the truth, still needed to be verified. Now with both of them behind bars, a shocking revelation came on March 24th, when George confessed during a phone call that he had known Marcy for at least 2 weeks.
Keep my girlfriend. That's what I'm saying. How can your girlfriend? You ain't know her. I don't think
Move my chair forward.
what? Got it all twisted now.
Now, the problem was that Marcy hadn't been seen at the crime scene, yet it was becoming almost certain she was involved somehow. Meanwhile, George's appearance didn't match the man caught on the CCTV footage. This led police to a chilling conclusion. There was a third person. Detectives then turned their attention to another lead, a mysterious contact linked to George on the day of the murder named Eric Gibson. They had to uncover if and how he was connected to Marcy and George. Crucial calls from the murder day, mixed with denial, made things chaotic. Detectives raced to find him before he vanished, especially after arrests linked to him. They discovered that Eric was living in a house owned by George. In fact, he was pulled over earlier on January 12, 2017, just a day before the shooting.
Mr. Gibson had been pulled over on January 12th, the day prior to the shooting.
Throw your back windows on, too, please. I do it, sir. You too, like. Let's search you real quick, make sure you don't got nothing on you. We'll be good, okay?
More importantly, the car he was in matched the one seen on the CCTV footage, which belonged to George. This only solidified the connection between them, but Eric Gibson was about to become more than just a connection. He was about to become the key to solving everything. With this, they took Eric's DNA, and it cleared everyone before him on the suspect list. The DNA matched the gloves found in the wetland and the murder weapon. The DNA was confirmed, but proving the connection between Eric, Marcy, and George was still crucial. To determine whether the other two had anything to do with the murder, detectives began monitoring everyone's jail calls closely.
That's driving me crazy. No, don't let it drive you crazy, because we're going to get that money one way or another. One way or another, we're going to get it. Don't worry about that. What's on your mind?
Getting these lawyers in place where I can fight this fight I gotta fight.
I thought it was going to be in a little private setting where I could show you something.
No, I could have told you that. No, I sure would like to see it too.
Yeah, you better hurry up and get on up out of here, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be a battle.
Mom, I love you, Mom.
You love me, you do the right thing.
Tell Marky, any money that Frank gives him to give it to you, and I want you to hold on to it.
You need to talk to him about that. It look like you gonna be in there. 'cause I ain't got no money. And Frank, man,
That man's mom's
went the
spending
other
any
way.
dollar she gets.
So you already see how that's land.
The calls were alarming to say the least, and none of them showed even a hint of remorse for what had happened. But one crucial detail did emerge. The man Eric kept referring to as Frank was actually George. It was a code name used to mark his identity. This tied the two men even closer. As time went on, the three began to unravel in their own ways during the calls.
Take me off your phone. I don't even have my location on though. They can turn it wherever they want to. But the thing is, I'm trying to figure out what. Oh, I asked him when he get here because I'm trying to figure out what they got.
Just ask him when he gets here.
Yeah. He said, when you talk to your friends, talk about anything. Do not discuss the case. Do not sign nothing. Don't write nothing. Don't
Oh,
do
shit.
nothing.
Okay.
Then, in May 2019, the trial began, and the truth finally came to light. Marcy Griffin, driven by jealousy over July Johnson, had confided in George Ryder. In response,
Emulative
George set a deadly
strength,
plan in
yuck.
motion by hiring Eric Gibson to carry out the murder. With all the pieces in place, prosecutors laid out a
Page.
chilling chain of events, how emotion turned into conspiracy, and conspiracy into cold-blooded execution. In the end, all three, Marcy Griffin, George Ryder, and Eric Gibson, were convicted of
Why do they
first
keep
degree
using the same picture for that
premeditated
kid?
murder and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Justice had taken its time, but in the end, it spoke loud and clear. July's voice was stolen forever, but the truth refused to stay buried. Now, her killers face a lifetime of silence, locked away with their guilt.
Bro, those people don't give a fuck. I was about to get another defense level. Yay. Yay. Give me something good. Nature runes. Something good. I mean, give me a page, motherfucker. Only 3 of these cocksuckers I've killed. I mean, I don't really mind having to kill them because I need the defense levels, but it'd be nice to get these pages.
The Disney Renaissance was a period of time when Disney animation was revived from a failing studio to a creative and financially successful juggernaut.
Wait. This isn't the story about that, right?
No, this is the tale of how it all ended. The Emperor's New Groove spent over 4 years spinning its wheels until an opposing vision forced an 11th hour restart. Now it's known as a comedy cult classic.
Hell yeah, it is.
But then, it signaled the end of an era and was Disney's most embarrassing shit show.
Blue?
it up.
The Jungle Book, 1967, the last animated film produced by Walt Disney himself. Without his leadership, Walt Disney Animation Studios fell into chaos. Going through the motions, film after film, the magic was gone. By the 1980s, the company was about to be bought out and stripped for parts. Roy Disney, Walt's nephew, brought in Michael Eisner as CEO in a last-ditch effort to turn things around, just as Disney hit rock bottom with The Black Cauldron. The misguided and wildly over-budget film of 1985 couldn't even get halfway to breaking even. Things needed to change. Eisner appointed Jeffrey Katzenberg to head the film division, with animation being of the utmost importance. Despite having no experience in the medium, Katzenberg ruled with absolute authority. Ruthless and decisive, he demanded perfection. For only spending an hour or so each week at the studio, he bred a dog-eat-dog environment where everyone should be willing to die for their work. And with Eisner breathing down their necks about cutting costs, you either rose to the challenge or you needed to find another job. It was callous and savage, but the results spoke for themselves. The Little Mermaid in 1989 was their biggest film in 20 years. Beauty and the Beast was the first animated film to be nominated for Best Picture. Aladdin was the first animated film to make over $200 million. And in 1994, The Lion King was a legitimate cultural milestone. It became, and still remains, the highest grossing traditionally animated film of all time. Katzenberg resurrected Disney animation. And that's when he quit. He was passed over for a promotion because Michael Eisner and Roy Disney grew tired of his showmanship and desire for full credit. Katzenberg convinced Steven Spielberg to establish a new studio together, DreamWorks, and they poached a great deal of Disney's animators. Quality at Disney Animation almost immediately dropped. The following production, Pocahontas, took a sharp dive in reception and was criticized for its nearly flawless historical accuracy. The Hunchback of Notre Dame in '96 was the harbinger for a massive leap in production costs. Hercules disappointed, Mulan was a step up, as was Tarzan, but the film's skyrocketing budget hardly made it worth it. And audiences' growing fascination with computer animation didn't help, thanks in large part to Disney's own co-venture, Pixar. Was traditional animation, or Disney's legendary studio, done for?
It's funny how they're bringing back this classic animation stuff.
Despite being a worldwide smash, The Lion King's production was fraught with issues. Original director George Scribner spent nearly a year making a heartfelt, documentary-like film. But when Katzenberg forced it to be a musical, Scribner couldn't get behind the change and was fired. Co-directors Rob Minkoff and Roger Allers were then tasked with saving the film. And that they did. Even though it was a musical, they were still able to hit incredible emotional beats. Simba's desperate attempts to wake his dead father was a moment that Allers fiercely defended to keep in the movie, and rightfully lauded for. So immediately after finishing the film, Allers was given a project of his own, and Disney had high hopes. The studio was looking into ancient South American cultures for their next setting, and Allers loved the visuals of the Incan culture, of a city in the clouds. He dove into their myths and was inspired by a god who created the sun by pulling in a distant star. Combined with Mark Twain's The Prince and the Pauper, Allers' story centered on the selfish emperor, Manco, voiced by David Spade, who swaps places with a lookalike peasant, Pacha, played by a then unknown Owen Wilson. The sorceress, Yzma, a very named Eartha Kitt, capitalizes on the situation by transforming Manco into a mute llama and coercing Pacha into her evil plan of banishing the sun, which she believes robbed her of her beauty, by summoning the god of death. The movie was big, to say the least. Not to mention Pacha's romance with the Emperor's fiancée, Manco learning humility and love from a female llama herder, a 10,000-year-old rock helping Yzma, and the grand finale of Pacha lassoing the sun back into position. Allers was swinging for the fences. Kingdom of the Sun kicked off at the tail end of 1994. But what started as a prestigious project from Disney's new Golden Boy morphed into an overly elaborate concept crushing under the weight of its own ambition. It wasn't coming together, even though there were pieces that showed great promise. As Disney grew worried, there was a frequently used phrase among the studio: remember the Lion King. As if to say, don't disturb the genius at work. That said, things were going to get even more complicated. Starting with The Little Mermaid, Disney clearly tapped into something by hiring Broadway talent to write their songs. But they took it a step further. Why have radio ads when you can have a chart-topping ballad? The combination of Elton John and Lion King turned out to be a gold mine, so hiring popular musicians became the norm. Bette Midler, Christina Aguilera, Phil Collins, Michael Bolton. This time around, Allers asked Gordon
What a
Matthew
banger.
Thomas Sumner, aka Sting. Sting saw what Elton had achieved and was excited by the challenge. Once he agreed in July of 1997, his wife, Trudy Styler, asked if she could film the experience as they went along. Fearing that Sting didn't understand how rocky the animation process would be, Disney figured that if Styler was documenting it all, Sting would stick it out. With his writing partner David Hartley, Sting got to work on 6 songs. Sting joined at a bad time. Producer Randy Fulmer started pressuring Allers to make some serious changes. To help, Fulmer reached out to Mark Dindal to be Allers' co-director. Dindal had worked as an effects animator with Allers on Little Mermaid, before leaving Disney to direct Cats Don't Dance for Turner Feature Animation. See, the studio was collapsing in the midst of a merger with Warner Brothers that was going to...
Hi. Excuse me. 2 seconds here. Can we stay focused? This story is about Disney, not Warner Brothers. Okay, you got it? Let's move ahead. Sorry to slow
When
you
you
down.
look at that,
Point is, Dindal saw the writing on the wall and gladly came back to Disney.
that worked out very
Together,
well.
Allers and Dindal attempted to restructure Kingdom of the Sun. Yet any alterations undermined the songs Sting had already written, whether it was removed characters or general themes. Sting was losing patience with Allers.
I'm telling a story, and what you've done here, you've taken out the 2 lines that encapsulate the whole thing for me.
And that's bad.
Ultimately, Allers was committed to too many pieces, and he struggled cutting any of it. To him, remove one piece and it all fell apart. To Disney, put it all together and it didn't add up to anything. Allers wanted to honor a culture. Disney wanted an audience pleaser. President of Feature Animation Peter Schneider and Vice President Thomas Schumacher didn't want to control Allers' vision, but not forcing changes perpetuated a lack of progress. 4 years in, a third of the film roughly animated, Schneider and Schumacher held a screening, and it didn't go well.
For me, so much of the movie isn't working. I just don't know who I'm supposed to care about, what I'm watching. The pace seems really, really wacky, like just so leaden, and I'm not having much fun.
What they did like were the quick and funny sequences that Dindal had directed. They asked him for some thoughts on how to fix the film, and liked what he had to say. Suddenly, Disney was questioning the viability of Allers ever delivering. Allers got feedback from the other directors at the studio, and he started to make some changes. So he requested a 6-month extension to refocus. Michael Eisner would not hear it. Disney was committed to multiple merchandisers. Key among them, of course, was McDonald's Happy Meals, and a delay would cost millions. Plus, on top of all of this, Jeffrey Katzenberg, Eisner's now mortal enemy, seemingly stole the setting for the film and ordered DreamWorks Animation to beat Disney to release. The top brass marched into Fulmer's office saying they had 2 weeks to come up with a solution or they would axe the whole film. Schneider and Schumacher decided to split Allers and Dindal into 2 teams and give them those 2 weeks to pitch their ideas of how to save this sinking ship. It was a bake-off, plain and simple. Katzenberg, rightly or wrongly, would say, okay, we're doing Pocahontas, it's Dances with Wolves meets Romeo and Juliet. We're doing that. The bake-off was more about indecision in the ranks. There was a lack of executive leadership that could just say, we're doing this, and then we're doing that. And just like that, the Kingdom of the Sun team was competing against each other instead of supporting their director. Feeling like kids with divorced parents, they admired Allers' passion and skill, but they knew the film was a lost cause. Meanwhile, they thoroughly enjoyed the creativity happening with Dindal. And adding unneeded pressure was a documentary crew who were very interested in zeroing in on the personal struggles of everyone involved. 2 weeks later, Allers pitched his solution, but it was still a big, complex drama with heavy themes. Dindal, on the other hand, suggested a complete overhaul. Along with storyboardist Chris Williams, they pitched a much simpler story, but most importantly, one that leaned almost entirely into comedy. During Allers' pitch, Schneider and Schumacher sat quietly. During Dindal's, they laughed uncontrollably. Allers knew the decision before it was made.
Probably, one of my biggest faults was to try to pull all these different elements, and maybe I tried to hold on to too many ingredients or something. I don't know. I sort of feel like I'm standing here with like fragments of like confetti falling through my fingers. I don't know. I was up half the night just sort of grieving over this whole thing.
With Pocahontas and Hunchback as slight setbacks, Disney wasn't sure that operatic grandeur was the key to past successes, and there was a real fear that their films were becoming formulaic. On September 23rd of 1998, Dindal was promoted to director and given the green light to start over. Dindal apologized to Allers, saying this was never his intention, and asked Allers if he wanted to stay on as co-director. Allers couldn't bear to do it. Though he felt no ill will towards Dindal or the others, he wanted to move on and joined Lilo and Stitch's production.
Fire movie.
Schneider and Schumacher told Eisner their plan, but to restart the project, Dindal would need pre-production time to settle the story and determine new character designs, background styles, and the like, which ironically would still delay the film the 6 months Allers asked for. Eisner gave them the extension. Kingdom of the Sun was moved from the summer of 2000 to Christmas. However, to fill the release date, the incredibly beleaguered production of Dinosaur was forced to move up, compromising that film's quality. Pushing Kingdom to December also allowed further distance from the March release of DreamWorks' The Road to El Dorado, a certain Katzenberg-produced film also set in pre-colonial South America with music by Elton John. Dindal and his team looked at what they liked about the current film: David Spade, Eartha Kitt, and an Incan prince learning humility after turning into a llama.
Yeah, I'm a llama again! Wait.
Literally everything else was thrown out. No more romances, no retelling of myths, no more most of the cast. Now it was just a buddy road comedy between a now older fatherly Pacha and Manco, who was renamed Cusco.
Yeah, why did they change Manco?
I think it means, in Japanese, and that's not what bothered him. It means bad movie in Turkish, and they didn't want that.
Now titled The Emperor's New Groove, Dindal had 18 months to produce every inch of a new film. He asked David Reynolds to make the movie funnier. Reynolds was currently a script doctor for Disney, but he was also a staff writer on Late Night with Conan O'Brien. So with Dindal, Chris Williams, and Randy Fulmer, the sense of humor in the room was dialed up to 11. It also meant meetings would evolve into 45 minutes of screwing around, followed by 15 minutes of truly concentrated creativity. Their rush timeline meant oversight was rare at best, so they adopted an anything-goes attitude. They had streamlined the film so immensely it allowed them to string together a series of ridiculous sketches just for the fun of it. And their new character, Kronk, became a sounding board of their weirdest ideas.
Oh, he's doing his own theme music?
They would get excited about a new bonker sequence, repeatedly pull in the actors, and hand them a few pages. A full script was never written out. The 4 main cast members were actively encouraged to improvise, to the point they weren't even sure what the movie was anymore. One of the reasons for the studio's history of success was Walt Disney's focus on story rather than gags. It set them apart from the absurdness of Fleischer, Looney Tunes, and Hanna-Barbera. Each film maintained a truth to its characters and setting, a verisimilitude, if you will, and they rarely deviated from that, the genie in Aladdin being a rare exception. And here was Emperor's New Groove, where squirrels make balloon animals and trampoline salesmen exist in the 13th century. They recruited Adam West for a manic scene involving an army of scarecrows. Those 4 months of work went right out the window when Disney nixed it as too insane. They even discussed using actual footage of a space shuttle launch to see how far they could push it.
What? What does that have to do with it?
No. He's got a point.
That's where they drew the line. $40 million later, Fulmer was ordered to produce some real results. From the outside looking in, Eisner saw a bunch of children wasting the company's time and money. Yet in reality, Dindal was making a lot of headway. Their first screening was a resounding success.
This group may have come in with reduced expectations.
I had no idea what I was walking into.
Oh, good.
Even I had no idea.
What a great surprise.
It was a great surprise.
After you've gone through this long, black, dark tunnel, then you can really appreciate how great of a moment this was. After 10 minutes or 15 minutes, Peter and Tom say, well, we've said everything we need to say. We're going to take off, keep going. I've never experienced anything like that before.
Oh, yeah. It's all coming together.
Oh yeah, and Sting. Dindal's revamp plans meant all of Sting's songs made no sense in the context of the new film. Obviously furious, he felt the movie's new direction was below him, as he much preferred Aller's philosophical version. He did eventually provide 2 songs, one during the credits that is a stark contrast to the film that preceded it, and another that ended up being sung by Tom Jones. Despite all that, the final straw for him was the ending of the film. Cusco's original goal is to demolish Pacha's home to build a theme park. At the end, he decides to relocate it to an adjacent hill. The staunch environmentalist Sting thought it undermined the movie's only remaining moral.
I've been aware for a while now that my vision of the world and Disney's may be at odds. I can only be candid, but there's something intrinsically faulty with this film, and I find it very difficult to continue working on something that goes against my beliefs. I offer my views humbly, and I look forward to your response. Yours sincerely, me.
Disney and Dindal agreed, questioning how they
That was
did
a pretty
the
good movie.
first, and made the alteration to the ending. Following a last-minute composer reshuffle, which was par for the course at that point, it was a mad dash to finish the film in time. But they did it. The Emperor's New Groove released on December 15th.
Screw it with the $2, bro.
Don't get me wrong, didn't know how to market the film, and chose to spend most of that budget on 102 Dalmatians.
You're a legend,
Both
bro.
films ended up getting slayed by Jim Carrey in How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Costing a baffling $100 million, and very little of it on screen, Emperor's New Groove bombed. Reviews were great, with most okay with the belly laugh substituting the usual Disney ambition. However, the year was rough for Walt Disney Animation Studios. Their more experimental films, Fantasia 2000 and Dinosaur, barely broke even. Then their flagship production of New Groove failed. It was the nail in the coffin. The Renaissance was over. The studio fell once again into a dark period. Roger Allers, Mark Dindal, Randy Fulmer, Peter Schneider, Tom Schumacher, and even Michael Eisner would all leave shortly after. And it would be 10 more years before they made another mega hit. Chiefly because Pixar's John Lasseter and Ed Catmull took over. Trudy Styler's documentary, The Sweatbox, which chronicled New Groove's 6-year journey, debuted at Toronto International Film Festival in 2002, and was immediately buried by Disney. Perhaps dreading its unflattering look at the creative process, the film now only exists in pirated form. Looking over the studio's legendary feature film
Appreciate
history,
you, Squirt. You're a
Emperor's
legend,
New
bro.
Groove was like a record scratch. It wasn't a romantic fable, it was a wacky farce. More Chuck Jones than Walt Disney.
That was a good movie. I like that movie. Fuck.
So is Luka built for being the face of the Lakers and the good and the bad that comes with that?
Sure. Yeah, I think, Magic said it, this is not Dallas, right? And I think when Luka got here, he kind of understood this was a different beast. As you can see, he's losing weight, showing people that he's losing weight. And I think being around, LeBron, who's been the apex of conditioning and being a professional for the first time in Luka's career, he's been with someone who's in another door that his talent says he should be in, right? A lot of us don't get that pleasure to be with a guy who's up there. So, if LeBron James is helping him think about what's important, body, conditioning, eating habits, nightlife, I think he will be ready for the task. But it's new for him, so he has to learn how to be an LA superstar. He was a Dallas superstar.
And that's my point.
Now you're an LA superstar. That's a very different beast.
So Lakers fans gave him the benefit of the doubt. I feel like the season finished third in the West, obviously getting knocked out in the first round. There were some issues and complaints about his conditioning defense in that first round of the playoffs. But now this is a full season.
Fucking head coach fault.
See, blame it on somebody else but the Pockets. but my point is, my man.
But I'm gonna credit the head coach voice. Like he can learn a lot from JJ. Like JJ was a mover. He was in peak shape when he played.
You played with him?
No.
Oh.
No, I'm just no.
I was in Orlando.
So yeah, I just watched him.
God damn.
Motherfucker moving around, you can tell what type of shape he was in from running around, right? So you can just tell, like he can learn a lot from him. And JJ a straight shooter. JJ gonna tell him exactly what it is. He not gonna sugarcoat it with him. So that's having that learning tool in LeBron, that visual learning person, whatever you want to call LeBron in his life, that tutor, whatever you want to call it, right? He can learn a lot from him, but you got a guy that's holding you accountable and your head coach. I think gonna go a long way for him.
So Sean, let me
yeah, my bad. Go ahead.
So Sean, let me ask you this: that honeymoon period is over, right? We know Lakers fans, they have a very high standard, from Magic, Shaq, Kobe, on through people that brought championships to this franchise. They were calling Westbrook Westbrick during his time with the team, so they don't hold any punches. They're down to come at anybody. We've seen Luka in the past get into it at Mavs games with fans, questioning his weight, questioning his condition. Seemed to be a little sensitive at times, but do you think that Luka is built to handle the pressure that comes with being the face of the Lakers franchise?
I don't know. I don't think the other superstar could handle what it meant, what it took. Lakers ain't really felt what championship spirit felt like 15 years. Now, y'all can say the bubble this, bubble that, but the fans didn't get to experience that. And that's the biggest thing about championship, and whether it count or not, because the fans get that memory. There's babies made, families come together. We go to the parade. We was at the game. We took the pictures on the court, confetti and all that. So they
The
missing
double
energy.
drop.
And ain't nobody stepped into that role to deliver that.
Give me that.
So it's hard to come in and say he's built for that when he came in out of shape. And that was the thing I said that was in doubt, which is why they
Give me that.
part of the reason why they like, yo, we shouldn't have to tell you this, what he's saying.
Yeah. And however people feel about that bubble ring, there was no parade.
It's okay to get spanked too.
But
usually you learn after you get your ass whooped, right?
But to his point, but to his credit,
he performed.
When did he get his ass spanked?
To his defense, right?
Huh?
I said he performed enough. He got his team to the finals. So for him to listen to being out of shape, he like, I just got my team to the finals, averaging 34, 8, and 8. Like, what we talking about? Like, so for him, he had to experience it. Like, kind of see someone else that's better than him. He ain't seen nobody. He say, I'm out of shape, and I'm cooking everybody. So he had to see LeBron and be like, oh,
Coming in at 9
he's in the
o'clock,
pantheon that I'm not in. You know what? I can yield to that. Because when he was there, he adjusted to the pressure of, like, EuroLeague. That's the highest pressure you can get in Europe. He adjusted to that.
19 years old, won
He came to
everything.
Dallas. Whether we like it or not, they were saying he was out of shape. He cooking everything walking. So he was like, man, y'all saying I'm out of shape, but I'm playing all the minutes and I'm cooking. So he ain't had nobody to really hold him accountable, really.
Hold yourself accountable.
You don't know.
I mean, he's 34, 8, 8. Most people was like loving that. Most people would love to be able to do that and be out of shape, quote unquote, out of shape. So this is the first time in his life he's like, okay, I ain't good enough just on face value. LeBron is a megastar. LA has seen people better than me. Well, you look up there, you see Shaq, Magic, you know, you see all the pantheons. He's like, okay, I'm not it. I'm not the creme de la creme. So now he can like work on that. Like,
I think it hurt running into Anthony Edwards in that first round. I think that helped him more than anything. You could say, and it's okay to say to get help from LeBron. Everybody's saying his name, and that's okay to learn from somebody that's did it at the top of the line. But I see to get killed by your peers like that in the first round, and to see how he looked out there compared to how you look, I think that helps too.
How he looked?
That man looked like shit. You supposed to be better than Ant-Man at this point.
he been better than Ant-Man every year he been in the NBA.
Yeah.
He been better
He
than
still
Ant-Man.
is.
He still is?
Yeah, absolutely still better.
Well,
than
not to
him.
me. That's what I'm saying. Not to me.
No, just because his team, knocked his team out. Luka Doncic still a better basketball player than Anthony.
Okay, you're using team as.
I'm not.
You said he averaged 30.
I'm about to say, yeah, he got.
He averaged 37 and 6.
Anthony, that's a long way to go, bro.
But just like anything, when I came into the NBA. Yeah. What we see is what we see, right? We don't know
what's out there.
What's out there, right? You hear stories of people doing other things. For the most part, yeah, whatever, right? Until you're in a locker room with a dude or you see it with your eyes, you don't know it, right? I'm pretty sure if these boxers actually sit down with Floyd and say, tell me everything you've done, he's gonna tell them shit that they've never heard or never seen before. That's when they jump into that next door. So we saying Luka should know how to get in shape. How? Who's taught him? Have they taught him how to be in Steph Curry shape?
Kyrie don't work out.
Kyrie get in his shape. Does he know how to get in Steph's shape? Only way you know how to get in Steph's shape is to go work with Steph. That's a difference.
Unless you see it with your eyes.
Unless you see it with your eyes and doing it with your eyes.
He has spent some time working out with Steph, though.
But that's what I said. The only way you know it is if you see it. Like everybody, we heard about the Breakfast Club, but there was only 2 or 3 people invited to that.
Man, we heard about Ray Allen's shape. I didn't know until he came to play Miami. That type of shape Ray Allen was in, different.
What is Ray Allen's shape?
Ray Allen's shape is like Steph Curry's shape, bro.
Yeah. You know?
Except he can dunk more.
He's built on that. His game is built on that. He got to be able to move, man. When you don't understand somebody, the kind of shape somebody is in, when we was with the Knicks, right? We all did our shit. Fucking Pablo Prigioni, bruh.
Italian.
A different level of cardio, right? We did all this shit at practice. We ran, training camp, all that. He, like, finishing practice every day with a 3-minute run.
I'll outlast you.
Every practice, no matter what we did, no matter, he finished practice with a 3-minute run. So it's that kind of people who you speaking of, that kind of shape, and when we looking at him like,
Ray Allen,
you doing?
He started looking at him like,
go do a bike marathon after practice. Go do a half a marathon just to ride his bike after practice, and then go play 18 holes of golf and come back the next day ready to practice. I'd be like, Ray, that's out of body, bro. Even LeBron look at Ray and be like, Ray, come on, like that. Like, Ray, come on.
Okay.
But you don't know until you know.
You blaming game on not being in shape next year. That's why they lost.
Who?
No,
that's why Lakers lost.
No, y'all
blaming nothing. We're
Minnesota team was better. Minnesota team was better.
Why are you doing this? We all was halfway there. We're not saying anything about blaming anybody. We're saying that there's another level of getting in shape.
Minnesota's better.
Gonna get it.
Oh, they were just better?
Minnesota was a better team than the Lakers. What the hell are you blaming?
But he was in shape, though.
Nigga, Rudy Gobert had 24 points, 27, whatever he was against y'all. Y'all, boy, stop.
What makes Luka better than Ant-Man?
He's a better basketball player.
Yeah.
Overall, he's an overall better basketball player than Anthony Edwards.
We just saw, we just see
who?
Playoff.
He limited.
Who limited?
Anthony Edwards.
We just watched him in the playoffs.
Now he being disrespectful.
No, I'm not. Did we just watch him?
I'm not taking anything off his play. He's a very good basketball player. He's trending up, absolutely.
I'll be excited to have
Ant-Man was doubled every time he touched the ball, bro.
Every superstar gets doubled every time he touches the ball.
Bro, I could go for another steak right now. I'm not even kidding.
Didn't know what to do.
Paul George, Pat Bev, the Morris twins, all
didn't know what to do.
He was cooking them.
Didn't know what to do.
They never doubled Luka.
Ant-Man, this playoffs too. He never doubled.
Yeah, they did.
Boy,
I saw LeBron James getting wide open threes.
Come on, y'all.
The fact that you say someone's out of shape in all of this and he averaged 30, it should let you know how good he is.
Yes.
We're not saying he averaged 21 or 15. The nigga averaged 12, 37 and 6, and you're calling him out of shape.
We never said he wasn't good.
When he gets in shape, what would he be?
He's not totally out of shape.
When we said Embiid was out of shape, we said Embiid needs to get in shape.
And then if he does, we know what it's going to look like.
And then when he got in a little bit of better shape, 30-fold.
We said the same thing with Zion.
30-fold.
Let's not say he's out of shape. Let's say he can be in better.
He can be in better.
You can't average 34 points a game and not be in shape.
He can be in better.
His body, listen, the look, eye test.
Yes.
Did you watch?
Yeah, of course.
Was he out of shape?
He didn't look great.
Okay, you disagree.
He didn't look great out there. He didn't look great out there. I'm not gonna say he was out of shape. He didn't look great out there.
You're triggering me.
Nah,
You disagreed with me.
Nah, he didn't look great. I don't want to say he looked totally out of shape.
Yes, he was out of shape.
He was out of shape.
37 and 6.
We was just having this whole conversation about him not being out of shape.
He's not in great shape to me, like elite. the best shape he could be in.
But
How we know that though? How do we know that?
But Gil, to your point, you said the same thing about Embiid.
Does he look in better shape right now? Losing like he look like he lost about 15.
The pictures looked this skinny when he came too.
No, I'm saying does he look like he lost about 16?
The pictures looked this skinny when he came too. Like
Joe, you was like, look at
No one has Luka career better than Luka.
Let me ask you. Do you think he's in shape?
I think that's Luka.
Do you think he can get in better shape?
Man, he's been first.
Do you think he can get in better shape?
There's a difference being in shape and being in elite shape. I think that's what we always
So
say.
if you think he can get, so that means if you think he can get in better shape.
So him being in better shape mean he gonna slide his feet and all that?
Yeah.
We will hope. But I'm asking you.
So he need to get in shape to slide.
If you think he can get in better shape, what does his ceiling look like if there's another level or
Nick,
two
you
levels
act like you was motherfucking goddamn Tony Allen out this bitch. You act like you was a fucking elite defender.
And he was first team all NBA 5 straight years.
No, I'm asking you if there's more levels
He was
to
in hood
get to and him getting in shape, what does his ceiling look like?
But is this gonna make him?
I'm asking you a question. He averaged 37
All right,
and
so
6.
when
you don't say
they lose,
he's not in top tier shape. What happens when he gets in top tier shape? What does it look like?
So when he lose, when he's
What
in
does
shape,
losing have to, I'm not talking about losing or winning. I'm saying 37 and 6. If he's right here, if we're saying there's more levels that he physically can get into, what does that look like?
Defensive player of the year.
Okay.
Y'all stop it.
Okay, cool.
Please.
just make it
We would hope
I'm just asking.
we would hope it would lead to some defense.
Okay, so
I think that's more of a
And we
mental
know
thing.
what motherfucking hope work.
so defense. So defense.
Do you know? Oh, you ain't been. You know what hope work?
Nah.
At your local Divvy Wop. I mean, you got some dollars on you? I have hope down at the motherfucking flop. She stripping for motherfucking tips. That's what hope work. So
You want a number?
Very good at it.
hope, chance, all that motherfucker, all that shit.
All that wish, all that wish,
potential,
all that.
all that shit work at the strip club.
Promise.
You know
You gotta get promise when you
I'm
go.
saying work at the strip club.
Promise
I'm saying,
will give you-
him being an elite defender, him moving his feet on defense, he fucking tries the best he fucking can. Right?
So who else
His
think
all,
better than
like,
Luka?
I'm the one to tell you, goddamn, we ain't doing that.
Does he
For
have?
how hard he try, he
Does
ain't
he
gonna
average
be elite.
36 when he gets in shape? I mean, what?
I love Luka though, but I be just making excuses for.
No one made an excuse. I don't know what conversation are you on?
That's for Luka.
Rodney and Cedric.
Like what conversation? Nobody's
nobody
talking
made no
about them
excuse.
losing. Nobody gives it up. We're talking about when he gets in peak shape. Where is his career going to be? This has nothing to do
Who
with him
knows
losing
where
or failing.
why even asking the question?
Where's it at right now, though?
Where's it at right now?
It could
37
be
and
worse.
6? Huh?
It could be worse.
Top 5 player in the league right
It
now.
could be. We're saying right now where he's at. Can he get better? That's what we're talking about.
Would he benefit
We're
from
talking about
being in the league?
excuses on why he lost.
He's looking at a picture.
But we're also
This man's gonzo.
built mentally to deal with
That man's so fucking. He's cooked. He doesn't even know where he's at. Yeah, grabby key, eh? Take those. A grubby.
So, am I being charged with something? I didn't do nothing. I didn't kill anybody.
The police believe this woman could be involved in the death of 62-year-old Valena Shepard, one of the most gruesome murders they'd ever witnessed.
She was strangled, she was stabbed, and she was bludgeoned. This was as a brutal crime that I've seen.
But what they didn't know was that in reality, she was being framed by her own boyfriend. He would have gotten away with it too, but he made a crucial mistake. He didn't realize he was being filmed.
911, address emergency. 1 Lincoln Square, apartment 10G. Okay, what's going on over there? My mom has passed away. Her neck was broke, I can see that. It was a fall. She must have been trying to go to the store, so. Alright, we'll send someone over, okay?
It all began when this jarring 911 call came through in Albany at 11:30 on the night of January 5th, 2020. Within minutes, police and paramedics arrived at the scene. When officers entered the house, they found the victim, 62-year-old Valena Shepard, on the ground inside the apartment, deceased. Present at the scene was the caller, her son, who had found the body.
That's my son. You're her son?
In addition to James, her home healthcare provider, Quenisha Anderson, was also present, along with her boyfriend, Lee Williams, who also had information for the police.
She wasn't answering her phone.
What time did you call?
All day, periodically.
What time?
8 times today. The last time about 9 o'clock at night.
From what James had told them and Quenisha's statement, it seemed likely to the police that Valena had been dead for a few hours. However, when they examined the body, a couple of things stood out to them.
Did she seem like she's been here for a little while at least? There's no doubt, but it could have been, 2 hours, could be 6 hours. I don't, we can't gauge that.
Valena Shepard, as she laid on the floor, appeared to be dressed as if she was going to go out for the day. She was wearing a large winter coat. She was dressed in pants and sneakers. It was my belief that she had been deceased for quite a few hours.
The fact that there were no signs of forced entry made the police pretty certain there had been no outside perpetrator. James had also stated that he thought she'd fallen even during his initial call, and this seemed likely at the time.
I observed a laceration on her chin, and in speaking to James and other responding officers, people made the notion that Valena Shepard may have fell into the corner of that wall and caused that laceration.
But as the police began to comb through the crime scene, they noticed little pieces of evidence, and their suspicions grew.
And I just don't like what's one there. I don't want to touch anything until we get some pictures. Yeah, right. But we don't know if that's her shit either. I don't know if that's hers.
We discovered what appeared to me to be a bloody boot print. I thought there was definitely more to it than just a fall into the wall.
The bloody footprint confirmed their suspicions that something else was afoot. But the condition of the body made it hard for them to determine what the exact cause of death could be. So the body was collected and sent for an autopsy to be sure of what exactly occurred. In the meantime, officers began to scour the house for any more evidence they could collect. And soon, they began to notice a disturbing trend.
What does her pocketbook look like?
It's red.
Red, okay. It's like big, small?
Not that big.
Okay, so like a regular size. Do you know where she keeps that in her apartment?
No, that pocketbook goes everywhere with her.
With her, okay. She's got a red pocketbook. Should be wherever she is.
There was an Echo Dot box that Valena Shepard had within her apartment, as well as laptop boxes.
But we were unable to locate the electronics inside of Valena Shepard's apartment.
In addition to her pocketbook and the electronics that were missing, her phone was also nowhere to be found. The police were now sure that this was not a natural death. It seemed more and more likely that some sort of sinister robbery had occurred. They decided to close off and preserve the crime scene until the results of the autopsy returned and they could be sure of what had led to her demise. Before even beginning the autopsy, the medical examiners noticed something that they believed could provide them with critical data: a life vest. Valena wore this device, which acted as a defibrillator if her heart ever stopped. The medical examiners were hopeful its data could provide them with the exact time of death, but these hopes were soon dashed.
And he had told us that it cannot run without certain wiring and a battery pack. And that battery pack and a lot of the wiring was missing from Miss Shepard.
We were unable to locate it, so we figured that the person who murdered the victim must have taken it during the murder and discarded it.
The data couldn't be recovered at this point. They'd need to recover the information from the manufacturer's servers. But even with their warrant, the process would take time. However, soon they noticed something else, which further heightened suspicions.
Discovered on Miss Shepard's person, tucked within her undergarments, was a large sum of money. There was $1,100 in $100 denominations.
This large sum of money hidden on her person made the detectives wonder whether Velena had known she was going to be robbed. But they'd no way of proving this just yet. Then, just as they were unsure what next steps to take, the results of the autopsy came back, and it chilled them to the bone.
The medical examiner determined that Velena Shepard had been deceased for more than one day, and she had passed some point on January 4th. She was strangled, she was stabbed, and she was bludgeoned to the point where numerous ribs were broken. Skull fractures had occurred. This was as brutal a crime that I've seen.
There were no doubts now. This had been a brutal homicide, and the missing items pointed to the fact that robbery had been the motive. But with no signs of forced entry and the apartment itself not having been ransacked, it likely meant the killer was someone familiar to Velena, who also knew where she kept her valuables. With this in mind, they turned to the person who made the call and had been present at the crime scene when they arrived, her own son, James Shepard.
James was the 911 caller, so he was one of the first people we wanted to interview and ask about his whereabouts on the day his mother was murdered.
As they took him to the station, his aunt, Jamie Shepard Leach, was immediately concerned.
They take my nephew to one room, then I'm thinking, oh, this don't look good, and they sits me in another room. They was questioning my nephew to find out if he had anything to do with it or not.
The police began by questioning James about where he'd been on January 4th, 2020, the day his mother was murdered. He informed them that he'd been working that whole day at the hospital. James said that he missed a number of texts from his mother's healthcare worker, Quenisha, during that time. After hearing this, the detective made a calculated decision to see how James would react.
And it was at that point in time that I told James that this death was ruled a homicide and that his mother had been brutally murdered.
The police hoped that if he had been involved, his reaction would give him away. But James's reaction was so genuine, it should have left them with no further doubts.
He was obviously very upset. Visibly, he began to cry. He was almost sunk in that somebody would do that to his mother.
But the detectives knew that suspects can often fake their emotions, so they asked James if he'd be willing to let them check his phone to see if there's anything suspicious on there. But his response was unexpected.
He was cooperative, showing us messages. None of them appeared to be deleted or altered in any way. So, based on our conversation with him, we left confident that he wasn't the one who did this.
James's cooperation and willingness to share personal details helped them to clear him as a suspect. But if he hadn't been the known individual who'd robbed and murdered Velena, who could it be? Next, the officers decided it was time to speak to Velena's healthcare worker, someone who would have had all the access necessary to commit this crime. Quenisha Anderson was brought in for questioning. She'd been there that night, and detectives needed to understand exactly what happened. They wanted to hear things from her, what she saw, what she remembered, and if there's anything she wasn't saying.
So, am I being charged with something? I didn't do nothing. I didn't kill anybody. Just let me go.
Did you talk to Miss Melina on Saturday?
I was talking to Miss Melina.
Like early in the morning or
Early in the morning, like 7:30.
In her interview, Quenisha told detectives that she and Lee Williams had recently met through a dating app and that he'd been staying with her at her apartment. That night, when Velena was brought downstairs to Quenisha's place, Quenisha noticed that she had a lot of cash in her purse, around $1,600. She said they both agreed she'd take Velena to the bank the next day and deposit it. But during the autopsy, the medical examiner only found $1,100 hidden in Valena's undergarments. That meant $500 were unaccounted for. At that point, detectives started thinking, could money have been the motive? Was financial desperation driving someone's actions?
Hey, no, Kill. I got my own money. I make $14 an hour. I work over 40 hours every week. My direct deposit on Friday was over 600. I got $200 in my bank account. I would never do that to somebody, especially somebody who's disabled. This crazy. This is how she was in her apartment.
That's nothing.
That doesn't do it justice.
To the injuries she sustained.
I would never want Miss Valina to go through that.
Well, she did.
In the interview,
Well, she
Quenisha got
did.
emotional. She said she had enough money on her own and insisted she could never do something like that, especially to someone like Miss Valena. But detectives still had questions, especially about the footprint found at the crime scene. While combing through Quenisha's apartment, they came across a pair of boots. The tread pattern looked a lot like the one left behind at the crime scene, and there was something on them that looked like blood.
What size shoe you wear?
I was so wrong.
I'm just asking.
These are 12 Maroons.
Alright. You have any boots up in your apartment?
Those are mine.
Those are yours?
Yeah.
The boots were sent to the lab to check for blood evidence. Quenisha lived just a few floors down from Miss Valena, so investigators needed to confirm whether she was even in the building at the time. But things started to shift when detectives took a closer look at her phone, and what they found raised new questions about her story.
During our interview, she allowed us to look at her cell phone and look at text messages and phone calls. It established that she attempted to contact the victim on Saturday, January 4th several times.
We also could see that Quinasia Anderson was attempting to get a hold of Lee Williams throughout the day.
There were several text messages between Lee and Quinasia where Quinasia is asking Lee where he is. We sent Quinasia's phone out to the crime lab so that they could extract all data and information from the phone.
Quinicia's phone gave the cops some important clues. When they looked closer, they found lots of calls and messages that didn't quite add up between her, the victim, and Lee Williams. Now, Lee was starting to look suspicious too. Could both of them have been involved? And was it all about the money? The cops were still piecing things together when the life vest report came in. The exact time of death, which helped narrow down who was in the building around then.
In obtaining the information from the Life Vest company, we learned that the Life Vest was still active and working at around 2:50 p.m. And the last data that transmitted over back to the company stopped at 3:03 p.m. We now had a decent time frame narrowed in as a time of death. So it was then time to go back to the surveillance footage and the key card data to find out who was in that building during this time.
Cops checked the apartment records and saw Quinicia's key card had been used at that time. But when they looked at the security footage, it wasn't Quinicia using her card. It was Lee Williams. Around 2 p.m., Lee entered Valena's apartment. Just over an hour later, at 3:03 p.m., investigators would later estimate that to be the time Valena was killed. At 3:13 p.m., Lee exited the apartment. Around the same time, his device reconnected to the Wi-Fi, suggesting he returned to the area immediately after the crime.
We could see Lee Williams moving back and forth quite often. As we observed Lee Williams coming and going throughout that day, he changes clothes numerous times. There's times when he is observed wearing a backpack. All of those movements together in the time frame which he was doing it piqued our interest in Lee Williams.
Just 20 minutes after Lee had exited Valena's apartment, at 3:36 p.m., a second transaction was made using Quinicia's card. It raised more red flags. Then at 4:50 p.m., Lee re-entered the building, but this time he was wearing different clothes. Minutes later, at 4:59 p.m., another transaction occurred on Quinicia's card. The pattern was becoming impossible to ignore. That made Lee the main person they wanted to talk to next. Investigators knew they couldn't wait any longer. It was time to confront Lee and hear his side of the story.
We understand that you had met her, right? Spent some time with her at her apartment. She's been to Q's apartment, right?
Yes.
So what we're trying to establish right now is kind of figure out a timeline of when she might have passed. So when's the last time you saw her? Like,
Well, the last time I saw was when me and Q went to her house.
Yep.
And I think Friday or Saturday. Q was trying to get in touch with her to take her to the bank.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we understand there's probably attempts made to try to get in contact with Miss V on Saturday.
I called her from my phone, and Q called, and I went up there and knocked on the door from time.
The cops weren't just going to take his word for it. Just like they did with Quenisha, they checked Lee's phone too, looking through his call logs, messages, and movements that day. And what they found only made things more interesting.
So this was Saturday was January 4th, right? So there's no phone calls in here for Miss V on Saturday. Is there any reason you would have deleted phone calls on your phone from Miss V?
I don't think I will.
Well, you said she called you and you called her. Yeah, but there's no evidence of that on your phone. You were the last person to see her live. You understand?
That's not necessarily true.
It is true.
When the cops looked through his phone, things didn't match up. There were no calls to or from Valena.
Oh, look at that. Of course I get a moon page when I fucking log out, right? When I lag the fuck out, of course I get one. That's
Were officially suspects. But just as they were piecing things together through the phones, a call came in from the maintenance team. They'd found something in the building's basement trash chute.
During our search of the victim's apartment and during the autopsy, we never located a red purse. Inside of 1 Lincoln Square, there's a trash chute that's on each floor that goes down to the basement dumpster. Detectives contacted maintenance for the building and asked for access to the trash chute and the dumpster in the basement. As they were sifting through the trash of the dumpster, they located the victim's red purse.
Also observed was men's clothing, a blue hooded sweatshirt and blue denim jeans.
This was similar to the clothing that Lee Williams had on the day Valena Shepard was murdered.
That physical evidence was sent to a crime lab in efforts to obtain DNA from that clothing.
When they sent that clothing to the lab for DNA testing, the cops thought it might just help them connect the dots, but they had no idea what was coming. The results didn't just move the case forward, they changed everything. By then, data from Lee's phone had arrived, and it backed up what the police had suspected all along.
When I got Quenisha Anderson and Lee Williams' report back, I knew that was a breaking point in this case.
One detail in particular caught the detective's attention.
In analyzing the text message data, we were able to observe a series of texts between the two of them on the day prior to her death, with Lee Williams saying, "I have her keys, just shut the door." That was important to us as we never recovered Valena Shepard's keys to her apartment.
But the texts weren't the only thing they uncovered. What stood out even more was evidence suggesting that Lee might not be as naive as he seemed.
The homicide occurred on January 4th, 2020. When I analyzed Lee Williams' cell phone, I did see that his cell phone was linked to Wi-Fi connection. He was at 1 Lincoln Square for a duration of time, and then he left that area. I tracked him back in that area at 1 Lincoln Square, and then he was traveling somewhat northbound in that city area. And then after, he did move throughout the city, and then he returned to that residence.
Police wasted no time reviewing CCTV footage from the area Lee was believed to have traveled through. The clock was ticking, and they still didn't have enough evidence to charge him. But that was about to change.
We were able to obtain several cameras that captured Lee Williams walking for several hours from 1 Lincoln Square all the way around the city of Albany and entering several convenience stores.
CCTV footage from January 4th, 2020 at around 3:26 p.m. showed Lee walking through the area with a backpack. But in later footage, the backpack was gone, and with it, possibly the answers police were looking for.
In watching Lee Williams' movements throughout the day, he can be observed wearing a backpack on his back. That night, Lee Williams returns to 1 Lincoln Square, and he does not have that backpack on. So we wanted to find out what he was doing with his backpack, and ultimately, where did it end up? Where did it go?
What caught investigators' attention was that at 8:14 p.m., Lee was seen on camera crossing Delaware Avenue at Elm Street while still carrying the backpack. Moments later, in the next frame, it was gone.
Based on this information, we knew that in that city block, he had to discard of that black backpack.
Finding the backpack became a top priority as it might hold the key to ultimately solving the case. Investigators searched everywhere, from garbage cans, alleyways, to even the Albany landfill, but it was nowhere to be found. With no physical evidence to go on, they turned their focus back to the digital trail. It was a move that would prove to be the turning point, and soon you'll see why.
Having access to Lee Williams' cellular telephone, we were able to view certain things within it. One thing that we found was a picture of what appeared to be an engagement ring. In viewing photos that are taken by a cellular device, we were able to view metadata that is contained on that photo. In looking at the metadata contained within the photo of the ring, you could tell the picture was taken at 6:12 p.m. on the day that Valina Shepard was killed.
The picture became even clearer moments later.
In viewing Lee Williams' text message within that phone, there was a correspondence with a phone number that appeared to be Lee Williams trying to sell the ring.
Upon running a background check on the number Lee had been texting, they discovered it belonged to a jewelry dealer. To confirm their suspicions, they asked Valina's son about the ring. The son confirmed it was his mother's and that it had been missing. The investigators went to the jeweler's shop, where CCTV footage from 6:37 p.m. showed Lee attempting to sell the ring. This was a breakthrough that could unlock the motive behind everything.
The video surveillance confirmed that the person who came to his place of business to pawn a ring was Lee Williams.
By further reviewing the CCTV footage, police also uncovered a link between the shoes found in Quenisha's house and the footprints at the crime scene. The prints matched a specific brand, and in the footage, Lee was seen wearing boots made by the same company.
When we reviewed the video surveillance, Lee Williams was wearing black boots on the day the murder had taken place. And we never found the black boots, but we could see they were all made by the same company over the course of several years and had the same tread pattern as this footprint, which was left in the apartment. So we suspected that he had discarded those and that they had been used during the course of the murder.
Everything pointed to one chilling possibility. Lee was trying to pin the crime on his girlfriend. They questioned Quenisha about the shoes and her card being used to enter the apartment, but she denied any knowledge, further strengthening the theory of a setup. Then came the unexpected. Weeks after the investigation stalled, the missing backpack appeared. An anonymous individual dropped off the same backpack Lee had been carrying. It was the final clue that could crack the case wide open.
It was determined that that bag was the same bag that Lee Williams was walking around with that night. Inside the bag, there was an Echo Dot. There was laptops. And comparing the serial numbers on the devices that were in the bag to the box that was found within Valina Shepard's, you could tell that they were one and the same. Having this backpack was another piece of evidence pointing Lee Williams to this homicide.
With the new evidence, investigators became certain that the motive for the murder was money.
Lee Williams saw Valina Shepard as somebody who was vulnerable. He had seen Valina Shepard counting hundreds of dollars in cash a few days before. I suspect that Lee took money from Valina Shepard's purse. Valina Shepard discovered that, and that was why she hid the money in her underwear. She probably confronted him about the money that she was missing, and Lee Williams made the decision that rather than deal with Valina Shepard or her accusations, he was going to kill her.
Then they received the DNA report confirming that the blood on Lee's clothes belonged to the victim. This was the final piece of confirmation they needed. Lee's barbaric act stole the life of a woman who was deeply loved. Her loved ones were left to endure unimaginable trauma.
Valina was like a second grandmother to my children. We were really close. It's hard because she was so strong. It was the worst thing to hear. Thick and Walker.
Hope deserved.
To all but close, he took my sister. He took a
lying. You lied on videotape to the police numerous times.
I was in.
Hold on, I'm speaking now. You're done.
I was under.
Do not interrupt me. You brutally bludgeoned to death an elderly woman, disabled, sweet, and innocent, in an attempt to get her money. You are a monster, and you should never be allowed out of the correctional facility.
Lee Williams was found guilty of second-degree murder and sentenced to 25 years to life in prison.
Cooked.
his next door neighbor.
What the hell did that say? Thought I saw an inappropriate comment. What are these comments? It's a scary course. You know why? 'Cause it's the first day of October. Blah. What the hell? Oh.
What the fuck is even happening in this level? Get this hot garbage off my screen. Jesus.
Good to see it. Alright, the trick is to kill him. That's not the trick. The trick is to make a box before the water comes up. Yep. And then... Can he get me? The trick is to actually do what I just did, but kill these idiots when they approach. See that? See that? See that? See that? Dude, what the hell? I hit that. Okay, I do think I'm on to something here, though. Hey, I turned him around. That was funny. See that? That's funny. What? He dipped weird. Alright, you know what?
Hilarious. No, it didn't grab it. He just went back for more. Oh my god.
I was cooking. Well, this is pretty awful.
I was getting cooked.
God.
He was cooking and I was getting cooked.
Oh, okay. So the water is up, right? Oh, the... Dude. Damn it! Okay, the level is not that long, okay? We can do this. Dude! No! No! Oh. You know, you really don't want to challenge these guys because if you're a little bit off, they will kill you. They will eat you. They will get priority over you. Oh my god, that was crazy.
What the?
I was so close. They were closing in. This is more stressful than the dark level. It's like there's really nowhere safe to go. It's just bloopers and death everywhere. Dude. Camera was in the air. What? Oh god. Oh, they should have made, you know, the first level we played should have revolved around a giant fish. This guy who chases you and eats you, that would be a lot scarier than Morton was. Wow, I got him. Okay, I got all these guys. Oh, you can make a box. Nice. Okay, cool. So now I can breathe a little bit. And now I can no longer breathe anymore. I cannot breathe. The breathing is over.
Game, give me another page.
What is
please.
The move here? Should I stay up top?
I'm begging
I feel like I
you.
should stay up top. Come on. Oh my god, please! That was so close. I thought he had me. Stage 2 with 20 lives. Parkour, 3 out of 5. Whoa. I love you. Checkpoint. Thank you. Wow. That's great. Okay. Whew. Okay. Naked pipe. Oh, not over. Damn it. Okay. Yes! First try. Huge. Moving on to stage 3 with 21. Mario is you. Flag is win. I like that level name. Very nice. Very, okay. Can we... So is the goal to... You don't want to get a key, right? If you get a key, that's bad, right? Or... I have no idea what's going on. Can I proceed and get that checkpoint now? I would love that very much. What is the situation? I can go here. All I need is a P-switch. That was chill. That was chill, dude. I don't know. Were the first rooms like go fast? Otherwise you get a key and then you lose, or... Nobody knows, dude. Nobody knows what's actually going on. Do they? Does anybody actually know? Because I don't know.
No, okay.
Got that? Okay. 50 coin. Nice, nice, nice. What the? Oh no. I screwed up. He got that key. I took too long because I had to go back. I had to go back because of the stupid... Damn
When
it,
you look at that, another grubby key.
power up that I had. That is so weak, bro.
Fucking Raiden.
No, key is defeat. I mean, I kind of gathered that, but still. What does that say? Box H hyphen. Oh, box has key. I mean, obviously. Whoa, it didn't hit the P switch.
Not paying
Did you see that?
attention.
It even showed the graphic for hitting the P switch. Watch, let me try and do it again. Wow, you have to hesitate ever so slightly. Let me see if I can replicate it. Look. That's really funny. So, yeah, I just got lucky all those other times. But you really got to pay attention to which direction these guys are throwing their little spike balls, right? And you can kill them. I think you can kill these guys too. Did I get him? Yeah, I got him. I don't know if that one was intentional, but it definitely works. I see a checkpoint. Okay, we gotta be careful here. Okay, keep that guy looking left. Left is good. I should be able to get that. I should be able to get that checkpoint, right? Yeah. Checkpoint. Kill that. Wait, did I get a... I got a key for hitting the POW? I was trying to kill the guy. That is madness, bro. That is madness. Just in case you guys didn't know, box has a key. Also, there's a switch that you can hit, but I don't know why you would hit it. So, not sure. Alright, so how does this work? You can't activate the thwomp, otherwise you get screwed. So, let's see. Aren't I gonna activate him? He's so pissed. How did I activate him last time? I didn't mean to, obviously. I don't know what I did. Jump in here to reset. Get the switch. And then... Isn't there a box right there? The spike top up there is about to throw into a box, right? The crate right there has the... I don't... See, he's about to throw it right there. That guy right there. How do I stop that? I don't know. I don't think I... Can I run left, run left, run left? I just got it instantly after leaving the pipe. How do you even stop that?
Here's the trick, you don't.
What the hell? Really? That's crazy. It's like I'm so many keys, and then this guy, freaking this guy, if you jump there, that's how you activate the thwomp. So you have to hug the right wall, otherwise you get him. Are you supposed to hit the switch? That's another question mark. All right, this time I hit the switch, and now everything is different. So now I can go up here and go in here. And then hit the switch, but isn't the guy gonna hit the right still? I turned him. I was able to turn him this time. Okay, now I gotta run for it after he throws it. Okay, go, 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 go. Yes! No! 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 He was...
Rip.
Okay, so from what I can tell, going down below is a death trap. You can't go down below, it doesn't work. But I have a new issue here where this spike right here is always going to be looking right when I try to gun for the door. All right, revised strategy. Hit the switch in the previous room and then go into this pipe right here, hitting the switch again, and then we're gonna run left, turn him around, and then we're gonna go activate this power block, and they die. Okay, so I was wrong. I could have sworn that the first time that power block went off, I got a key, but that's what happened. Okay, I was half wrong. No! Oh, ho, 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 ho. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Ho, ho, ho. Ho, 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 ho. Wow. Okay, activate the stupid thing and then go. Do not... Why would he not go in the freaking hole? Okay, we're good. The bottom is a complete lie. You don't go down there. I think it's a trap or something. Bonus. Man, last time I got a mushroom, it kind of boned me, so you'll have to forgive my skepticism. Yo, we got this. Yeah! That was actually pretty impressive. Moving on to stage 4 with 15 lives, the Flower Garden Hard.
I think tomorrow I'm gonna have to go
Good ass level to me.
farm some Black Warlocks and take them down there with
I thought
me.
that was gonna be a bullet.
I think that's what I'm gonna have to do.
Oh, that muncher just destroyed my soul. Whoa! No, that was objectively easy compared to that muncher jump. The timing on the muncher jump is rough. It's like... Go! That's... Whew! Damn. Okay. Ay, ay, ay. My God. That was so freaking lucky I didn't die right there. What? This is hard. Wow, this is hard. It says hard in the title. He wasn't kidding. Oh, that's embarrassing. That's hard. Oh, 7 lives. The muncher timing was completely off. I don't even know what happened. I always do the same thing. Oh, you know what? I think I do know what happened. I spawned the muncher early. So hang back a little bit, enough to spawn both. Yeah, you guys get it? This jump is killing me. It's like a corner jump, hold right, like your life depends on it, and then... No! And then it's like another corner jump when you land on that one so you don't fall off. Oh, and here comes Mary. A real hard challenge. Fun don't stop. Everything's hard. Ending on a ghost house. I clearly misread the situation. 0% clear rate. Ay, 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 ay. This is a crazy jump. You have to hit that and then wrap around. Does it line up, though? Does it line up? Close. Does it line up? It does not. Does not line up, which means your only hope is to grab the second one. You can use a visual cue to know when to jump. I'm using that giant pillar in the background, and actually it's very helpful. Just a little bit later. A little bit later. Right there.
Oh.
I gotta land further right. Please tell me the rest of the jumps in this stage aren't as hard as this one. Like, for the love of God, please, please. Please tell me that. Oh. Ah. It's got a checkpoint. I love you, man. I love you, man. You're so beautiful. You're so beautiful, man. You're such a hero. You're the real Superman. Another checkpoint. I could cry. Dude, I could cry. This guy easily could have, like, chained all this crap together, no checkpoints.
Mask
But no.
of
A
Ranu.
true gentleman and scholar was like, you know what? I'm gonna put in some checkpoints. You know, I'm gonna have like 1 million unnecessary door and pipe transitions, but you know
Looks
what?
pretty cool.
I'm gonna have those 2 checkpoints. Oh, that scared me. Dude, what is with the pipes and the doors and Is he still a gentleman and a scholar? I don't know. Think I might have to take back that label. Oh, what is this, dude? Why did I do that? Why did I do that? How are you supposed to make this jump? How do you even make this? Wait, how do you make this? I don't even know how you make this. Is it possible to make this jump without bonking that thing? No? Well, how would you possibly make this jump? It says to go left and then go right. I don't understand. I take it back. He's not a gentleman, nor is he a scholar. I take it all back. You can reset the munchers. That's what he means with the arrows. Isn't the only way if you pull off this like microscopic jump? Is that possible? I don't think it's possible to do that, is it? I really don't know if that's possible. See that? I don't. What? This guy's kidding me, right? Surely he jests. I think like technically it is possible, but I don't actually know how you do it. I did it. It's possible. This guy's a freak. Why would you do this? Do you have any idea how hard that is?
He's getting too much momentum. He's just gotta stop full tilt.
Cannot believe I called this guy a gentleman.
Oof.
This is definitely not scholarly. It's possible. Like, if I sit there in place and jump over and over and over, I can get it eventually, but getting it on the first try is another story. I'm gliding my finger over the A button, like, so fast, you have no idea. I am touching the button for literally, like, an undetectable amount of time, but it's still too much. So I sat here and tried to do it without resetting, and I missed it like 20 times in a row. I bet you there's some sort of like trick, some kind of like, yeah, I bet you there's some sort of trick to this. Does this German language here tell me the answer on how to do it? Bronk dork? Yeah, he's a dork, all right. 0.06%, 1 out of 1,500. October is not off to a great start. What?
Oh my god.
I got a perfect corner jump on that one, I think. That was crazy. Whoa. I didn't even realize. So far, this level's actually pretty good. You know, it's actually a pretty cool and well-designed level. That jump right there, though, is pretty gross. But honestly, like, I like the level.
Oh no.
Love it. Whoa! Everything was weird. Wow. Hey, we did it. Hey, we did it. What's down here? Ah! Could you chill? I don't even know if I can. Do I need that? What's in there? Do I have? I don't know. I don't care. It's probably a 1-up. He had another 1-up that was hard to get before. These jumps. These jumps are so crazy. Okay. Whew, this is so gross. I feel like you could make it all the way to the other block. Seriously, I feel like I could, but I'm a little nervous to try, so.
Ooh.
Oh, jeez. Trump jump. Oh, really? It's gonna be like that? No!
Dude, that's
You're
insane.
gonna muncher hitbox me that deep in the level, dog?
That fucking shit is insane.
Oh. No, I was, dude, I was going.
Oh
Cooking,
no.
I was. Cooking, I was. Red pipe. Hot garbage. What's up with the wiggler right here? Just for fun? I was wondering if there was anything in that pipe.
There's some 4 pages total, supposedly.
This is gonna be a problem. It's like, it's bad enough to nail that T jump right there between the munchers or the piranha plants, but it's really the jump afterwards that's way worse. Because you gotta challenge that damn muncher hitbox. It's not even the piranha plants I'm worried about, it's like making the damn muncher, which is, I mean, that's what killed me last time. I feel like you could YOLO off the top way up there, and you could probably make it. I don't know how far you could make it. You probably wouldn't make it past this muncher, actually. So, maybe I wouldn't recommend it. Okay. Okay, I pushed this guy really close. You try to get a wind up for the jump, you hit the piranha plant. I don't know how I survived. That was stupid.
Another grubby key.
Oh, I didn't think I was gonna make that. Whew, I must have been like 1 pixel from hitting that muncher. This guy is maniacal. Seriously, he's out of his damn mind. Oh, please. Please, please, please. Oh, yes. 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 Yes.
That was a good level.
Whew, that last jump. Wow, 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 wow. Those final few jumps. In between the 2 piranhas, then that muncher, and then that little duck jump. Oh. Oh, you dirty, dirty man. Anyways, this level right here is not worth our time. This guy went and ruined his level by putting in some stupid shit at the very end. Some like really annoying stupid shit here. Not worth it. Although if you guys know of like
65 defense. Take that. The double Ranar drop? Oh my god. This game's just fucking tantalizing me. Another page? Oh my god, baby, give me the page. One page, one page, oh, one page. I'm so close I can taste it. My dude over there dropped nothing. The back to back and nothing dropped. Disgusts me. That's the game telling me to go to bed. Which I will after this KC here and one more birdhouse run. Wait, actually, it's close. Okay. We'll just go this way. Four nests out of that one tree. I never put seeds in this bitch. Oh my god. How ignorant of me. Alright, chat. You guys have a good night. I will talk to y'all later. Damn, that guy dies right after the movie comes out. That's sad. Peace out, chat. Hope y'all have a good night.